Alrighty, welcome to episode 18 of the Luke Papala Show, guest
So,
starring Ian O'Brien.
Once again,
This is the second episode. What we're looking to do here is getting everybody that guest starred on this show first that was previously here when the show wasn't in video format. So what we're doing right now is getting everybody that was on when it was in video to video. So everybody remembers OB. This is OB. By the way, everybody,
what's up, everyone? How we doing?
We are sponsored by Crown. Here is Crown Royal Whiskey Lemonade. I mentioned that I'm still trying to get that sponsorship.
LP Money, you're getting another sponsor over here. Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, so currently we got OB on the Mike's Hard Lemonade.
And we also have, well, you can't really see it because it does say purified water, but literally, I forgot the box. It says Liquid IV.
Liquid IV, sponsored by Liquid IV.
Yep, electrolytes. And there's a lot of collegiate athletes with these new NIL deals who have sponsorships of Liquid IV, more so than Gatorade right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Also sponsored by Manscaped. Now,
I remember that. When I used to watch How the Beast, he'd always have the Manscaped ads on there and everything.
I use it at least once a week. It's a great product. I've only been nicked twice.
You know what I need? I just need the weed whacker for all the nose up there when the nose hairs comes. That's what I need. Because everything else is fine, but it's that nose. Like, you just can't get up in there. You know what I mean?
Manscaped. Get it today with a 20% discount code LUKE at your checkout. Just kidding, it's fake. But that's not the point.
What if Manscaped decides to just watch one of your videos out of nowhere? They're like, hey, I like this kid. I want to sponsor him.
That's what we're hoping for. But anyway, thank you for coming on again.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on. No, it's really good.
Oh, of course. Every time, we're together, it's always a great conversation.
It is a great conversation. Let's see. Last time it was all about the life of dating. Now we're just here to talk about what's ever on our mind, really.
Exactly. I want to revisit that because last time we talked
that was September of 2021.
That was back. That was at least 6, 7.
The show was so young. It was just in baby form. That was like the third episode or something.
Yes, sir.
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Whatever you need, I got you.
No, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
All right.
I wonder how this would taste actually mixing with the Liquid IV. Let's see.
This is my preferred drink of choice right now. That Crown Lemonade is something crazy.
I'm tasting a lot of these because this is strawberry flavor. I'm tasting a lot of the strawberry mixed in with this lemonade now.
I got you. Put this over here.
Pretty good.
But yeah, so one of the things that you want to talk about is football, specifically YSU football. Talk about some of your insider on that. Also, you've gotten a job since then, correct?
Yeah,
so talk about that.
So you want to start with the football first or the job?
We'll go with the job. I want to hear about you.
So, well, I mean, I'm landscaping right now. I've been doing that for years, but I'm also now a substitute teacher. Sacred Saints, Youngstown City School District. It's been fun. Mm-hmm. Again, it's so weird though, just being in here because Luke, you and me, we come from family backgrounds where usually it's peaceful, wealthy, and stuff like that. But it's kind of tough in these other parts of the city. You know
Definitely.
what I mean? And I just, I think it's good because some of these kids don't really have like father figures. So I think some of them see me as that. Others will just try and be like clowns to take me off. But others are definitely, going through something.
Yeah.
So I'm there to try and, help them with whatever work they need and however they need it done. You know what I mean? Being a substitute teacher. I've had some good kids that have really liked me and stuff like that. And, sometimes we play some good games and stuff like that. I've played Kahoot with them a lot. I've played, what else? We went outside a bunch of times too, like a little free recess here and there. Yeah. It's been fun.
So going back to when you said there's like a real problem with a lot of kids, they might be like dealing with stuff or what have you. What do you see? Because I wrestle with this idea all the time. How do you see that we as people that live here can like fix that, if that makes sense? Like, what do you think is like a possible solution?
Well, of course, usually people say counseling, but I just think you have to talk with them. Mm-hmm. You have to be respectful, but you also got to not baby them. We have so many parents nowadays that I think baby their kids too much. Not like what it used to be during your time, during my time. Because I mean, if some of these kids get away with a lot of stuff, dude, if my parents found out I was getting away with like what some of these middle schoolers are getting away with, they'd beat my ass. I'm not even lying. They would literally probably kick my ass about it.
What do you mean in terms of like what they're getting away with?
Well, I'm just saying, okay, so middle school, McGuffey Middle School, for example. So I subbed one day. And, staff bathroom's locked. I don't have a key.
Yeah.
I think the teacher took our key. It was only a half day. I go into the boys' bathroom, right? And again, these are like sixth graders, you know what I mean? Sixth to eighth graders. So they're around, what, 12 years old, would you say? 12, 14?
Probably, yeah.
Around that age?
I was 14 when I graduated.
And
8th grade.
Again, I'm not going to say what was on it, but it was foul and racist. And again, written by someone. It says, it was a picture of a genitalia. So there you go.
It was a dick.
A dick, yeah, basically. But it said, you better clean this white N-word with my blank with my BBC. And it was just, I was in shock. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I had them for a class, and they were all, it was just, for a half day, it was like, ooh,
yeah.
That's probably the worst class I've ever had, honestly.
Really?
For like a half day, yeah. And some of them were cool with me, though. Some of them asked if I played football. Like, yeah, I played football. We talked a little bit, but there was others that I was just like, I don't like this.
I mean, that's
because here's the thing. I walk in, like when I'm subbing that day, I see the lesson plan. This kid comes in. I'm like, hey, where's all the other students? Like, oh, they're waiting in line for the metal detector. I'm like, what?
Oh shit!
I'm like, what? Metal detector? So yeah, there's been some sharp objects recently, and they're getting shut down. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So here I'm thinking, this might be my last day if something happens like that.
Now, were you only subbing at this Youngstown City School one day?
No, I sub there. I sub there all the time. It's
Okay.
different schools. So you have like on the north side, Harding.
Mm-hmm.
You have one right by your Palsy Bun, which is right off of Pullen Road. That's actually one of the best city schools, I'd say. That helps a lot of kids, mostly disabilities. You have different kids I know with problems with, like helps them a lot. The kids are really good there. You have Harding, that's on the north side, as I said. Taft, south side. Taft is not my cup of tea. I'll just say that right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have McGuffey, but you also have the preschool McGuffey that I helped out with a lot. And we had some good chemistry when I was at the preschool.
Really?
Yeah, really good chemistry when I was with the other assistants. We had like really good chemistry. All nice, all awesome people. But sadly, they're all splitting up now because there was something going on with the preschool and McGuffey where they don't want that whole preschool room anymore. So they're all split up to different areas like Fawley, Taft, Palsy Bun, MLK. That's another good school too, MLK. Mm-hmm. A lot more Spanish kids at MLK, and I was really shocked about that because you never see that anymore.
Yeah, I feel like our area, if it makes sense, you have a lot of people that are like from here.
Yeah.
Not even talking about like the specific races of people, but you just see it's basically like an Italian area. There's people who are Polish, Irish, whatever, but for the majority it's Italian. So that's surprising. A different people with I don't know, a different heritage, I guess.
Different heritage, and it's just
you said it was like the majority of the school.
Yeah,
that's interesting, huh? I do have a question because this is something. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh no, I was about to say I also sub at St. Christine's like once, twice a week. Mm-hmm. Tell you what, I don't know. Where did you go? Grade school at?
I went to St. Charles.
So you were close to St. Christine's. I would say that was. I wouldn't say because I imagine. Did you play football at St. Charles at all?
Mm-hmm.
So you played against St. Christine's. You played against, I want to say, who did you play against? Probably Mario Facillo. You played against athletes like that, right?
Devin Keevy,
Dave Simon, probably.
Pete Haas.
Did you play against anyone from my grade? Because I know you're about 2 years younger from me. Like, you didn't play against like a Finney Santisi, Dan Leslie. You didn't play against anyone else like that? You're probably, so your senior was 20. Yeah, okay, so your senior year was 18, 19. Mine was 16, 17. Yeah. So it would be a couple of years apart. But that's where else I subbed. So and again, they're under more oath because, the parents, you can't really have kids misbehave there because the parents pay money for all those kids to be there. And I mean, a lot of money too, you know what I mean? So your kid gets kicked out. It's not looking good in the money situation after that.
What do you find? Because this is like a situation where not a lot of people our age go through. The precautions that you have to take for being a sub at like a Youngstown City school where obviously, unfortunately, our inner city is very violent. There's a lot of, how should I say, violence that could possibly go on at any second in these schools. Yeah. So, what are the precautions like for you as someone like an outsider?
You gotta just see. You just gotta see what happens. Really, you just gotta supervise a bit.
Day to day, what do you have to do in order to go into that environment? Because obviously, sometimes it might not be the best environment.
You gotta see what kids are the ones that usually would be misbehaving and try and like fight other kids is what it would be.
Is there anything that they like have you do like beforehand, like say, okay, you pull up at however early, 7 o'clock, say in the morning. Is there anything that they go over you with, like beforehand?
I wouldn't really say that. I had to take a lot of training.
Okay.
To do it online.
Okay.
So I took all that training, passed all that training. You just got to basically follow what they have on the training right there. Like my biggest fear right now, honestly, is when all those shootings were happening, especially in Texas.
Yeah.
With all the elementary schools,
Yeah.
and rest in peace for that. That's when I got really like nervous, like anxiety came up into me because I'm like, what if that happens here? Someone just barges in. Now, luckily, I think we have better police forces in this area, honestly, than what you saw there in Texas.
I hope.
No, I'm confident. I know a lot of them that work out of the Y. I know
Mhm.
Mr. Penn. I think all of them are really good at their jobs. I think they'd be right on that. And say McGovern Middle School has like 3 cops already waiting. So,
That's good.
yeah, 3 security cops already waiting. So
What an unfortunate situation that
no,
happened.
it's unfortunate. It's a shame, and it makes me sad too because look, for those who don't know, I like to complain a lot. I'm a complainer sometimes, which is how I am. But I was always like that, and then I think it was my first week or first day actually. I looked at all these kids. It's like, wow, I should be a little more blessed for what I've had instead of just complaining all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm looking up the Uvalde shooting right now. I just want to get all the information before I obviously.
I mean, there's been a bunch of. You know what some of the stories are? You want to hear actually one of them actually?
Yeah.
So I think it was when I was doing PE at Harding. This one second grader, I don't know why, but whenever they play PE, they just like these 2 kids just hate each other, and then like I'd honestly not hold them back, but I had to make like separate them apart so they didn't try and fight each other too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what they were fighting with over like a little toy football or whatever, but it was like, guys, you have plenty more of them over here. Just take some. Like
so, yeah. So right here it says, I just wanted to see if there were any like updates, if anybody died after that. And it says right here, 19 children and 2 adults Texas, were killed. And basically what they were doing is the gunman was in the school for like something like 45 minutes.
And police just let him in or something. Like no one was, I think, there or whatever. They just said it. I mean, you would think that's because here's the thing: schools are normally locked. You have to ring a button.
Yeah, I
remember
order to when we went to St. Yeah, we went
that's
to
what it is for Youngstown City.
St. Charles,
St. Christine's like that too. You got to ring a button.
Every school that I've went to, for a long time, I to be honest, it's all I can remember. I don't remember a time where you could just go into school, walk in, and everything's fine. Like there's precautions being taken because they want to keep kids safe.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to see here if there was only one entrance to the school. I'm not sure. I remember hearing something about that, but I don't want to
Most schools have more than one entrance, definitely. So there had to have been probably like, well, how many doors would it be? Like Ursuline has how many doors? They have like, got what, 5, 6, 7?
Multiple, yeah.
And something like a St. Christine's would have 2, have like 4 because there's one I know right by the gym, another one at the gym, the down part of it, and then there's the one upstairs. So it's about 4 or 5 there already.
It's crazy. Obviously, what they were talking about, what everybody was like up in arms, was because obviously it was a school shooting and shouldn't have happened because the officers got there, like you said, like an hour late, and the horror stories are terrifying.
I mean,
there was an article I was reading, and
these
kids literally had
security guards. Like, where are they at?
These kids literally had to do this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Security guards, like, where are they at about this? And again, and if we're going a little bit with some NBA, like when Steve Kerr talked about it, I'm not a fan of Steve Kerr. I'm not a fan of his like politics and all that, but I have to agree when he says, "When are we going to do something about like something like that?" Like, you know what I mean? When are we going to do something about it?
I feel like everybody, they say, "Oh, we're divided in this country," whatever. I feel like everybody's united on the fact they don't want school shootings.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, conservative, or liberal. Yeah. If you have kids, they're going to school unless they're homeschooled. But okay, so that's a small percentage. But like, you're going to be affected if this happens to you. So wouldn't you want to solve this?
The problem after that is after a shooting happens like that and kids die, then you're going to have them divide. That's the biggest problem, is to have come together. Like, if you remember 9/11, well, we were all too young, but everyone came together during that time. I mean, everyone. But now it's like something like this happens over and over again. You keep on defining and you bring up your politics. And then you have to push the blame on someone, no matter if it's the president of the United States, old Uncle Joe down the street, no matter if it's Donald Trump who's out of office, no matter if it's who else would you blame? Like your governor of the state or something like that, Abbott, Beto O'Rourke, whoever it is. You are gonna try and push the blame off to someone instead of trying to come together and find a solution.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people in this country, they unite in terms of every time like a crisis hits, if it's big enough, like for those first 2 weeks, the 2 weeks to slow the spread, which was bullshit.
Yeah, that didn't help anything too because we're still trying to fight it. And it's not working. Too.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
But people were like united.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody complain. Everybody was wearing a mask. Everybody stayed home. Cutting grass at the time, like that was the first year that we did all of that. You didn't see anybody out on the street. Like everybody was in their homes because we genuinely thought that it was going to work. Because
I don't know if you remember during that time. The only places I remember when I was driving Boardman once that were open was Target.
Mm-hmm.
I think was open. Best Buy I think was open, but it was where Best Buy you had to like wait in line or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like go in, and if you remember, all these sections were like blocked off. It was like a whole space, and you had to like walk and couldn't even pick out something. You had to get someone like to have you get it for you. It was so weird.
What pissed me off was that they literally told some people that they can work, and everybody else it was just like, fuck you. You can't have this business. A bunch of restaurants, bars
shut down,
gone. People, their livelihoods gone. A lot of businesses that went under.
Small ones had to too. Go. It was bad for the small ones that are trying to make it.
In like the traditional restaurants that have been here so long, like Staples in this area and everywhere else too.
Staples, Station Square, and Liberty, Belmont. All those.
A bunch of them just had to close.
Yeah.
Fortunately, a lot around here, I would say, have been able to stay around. I don't know how much longer, but like I haven't noticed a lot of restaurants around here, like those core restaurants, places like MVR, Avalon, Davidson's, like all the,
and they're doing good
those like too. those local restaurants. I feel like people around here really united around that, and they wanted to keep those places open because like those are staples.
Yeah, now we just have to unite in schools somehow too, and just for kids too, because you can't be doing this is an early age, and they're just trying to find out about their life too, and have it just end like that so soon. It's
tragic.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's why that's why I make sure that everyone's safe. All the procedures, lockdowns, you gotta get ready for those. And they give me warnings too. They give me a warning, hey, we're gonna do a tornado drill, we're gonna do a fire drill. So they give me warnings like where to go beforehand.
Yeah. And
it's pretty good. And the problem is that I'm not like, I'm the type of teacher that like, lets kids chat around stuff like that. But when it's like, a serious situation where you're trying to practice on, you can't. They want to continue to chat with like their heads down, something like that. To tornado, you can't have that. Like,
yeah, I agree.
You gotta sip it a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a tragic situation, and it sucks that we're talking about it. What do you feel like is like the way to stop it, in terms of like putting policies towards the situation where it can be?
You see LPL say something, and it'll immediately be a political thing. I don't know if gun control is. Maybe you have to find out a way, maybe with a little bit of gun control, but I don't think that would even like help the situation. Yeah. I feel like you need more just security in the building, way more security than ever before, way more officers in there. You have to have the good ones too. And I think also those officers in Texas who like let all this happen, they should have lost their jobs right after. Promise none of them lost their jobs. You need people who know how to do something in buildings like that. And I'm not saying, and here's the thing, I'm not saying people are saying, people shouldn't carry guns, people should carry guns. Here's the problem with this. If you shouldn't carry guns when you're a cop, then how are you gonna maybe get someone that actually say somehow had their gun for a while? Like, you know what I mean? Especially when you're trying to take them down. You're basically, there's your life right there. But if you're all for guns, the problem is with this, anyone can own it, and say a teacher's having an argument about a grade or something like that with a kid, the kid or teacher can immediately pull the trigger, just get out of nowhere, and just like that.
I don't think that teachers should be armed. I think that's going a little bit too far.
I don't think, teachers shouldn't be armed, and definitely not little kids like what we're seeing now.
I think that when they talk about raising the minimum age that you should purchase a gun to 21, I feel like that's a little bit reasonable.
A little bit.
Yeah. I feel like it, for the most part.
I feel like people are mad about that. I don't see really the reason for it. I would say because the legal age of drinking is 21. You know
Correct.
what I mean? So I feel like that would be the same age as you're more of an adult at that time
Yeah,
too.
I feel like it's the same thing. So I was arrested. I
Wait,
had
what?
yeah, this was back in October,
Wait,
and
what?
I was arrested. Hold on, I'll tell that.
I never heard about this.
I,
No one's ever told me.
I talked about this on the podcast before.
You weren't on any. I didn't see you on any warrant list or any news.
I wasn't, because I was arrested by YSU police.
Oh, I mean, at least he didn't pull a. Well, shout out the damn Pat. At least he didn't pull what he did the one night when he was drunk.
What did he do?
Well, he's probably gonna try and kick my ass if he hears
You
this.
don't
But
have to
he
say it.
I'll tell you. He basically, let's just say, well, I was watching Blue Mountain State today. Coach basically said, "You got to continue to like help my wife to piss off the dean who's dating the wife." So just think of the wife as a pull, and as that one ticket pull or something like that. And Dan Path is just being Alex Moran, just
really?
Yeah.
well, when I was arrested, it was open container under the age of 21, and I lied to the cops basically.
Oh, container.
Yeah, so they had me cuffed. I went in the back of a cop car, all that shit. Had to pay like $2,000 for my lawyer. I won the case. I didn't win. All charges were dropped. But when they're talking to you about this, you had to do like this like training called like the Divergent program.
Yeah.
And in the Divergent program, you learn like why the age is 21.
Yeah.
And it's because all these people from, they were underage, obviously, and there were a lot of drunk driver related deaths, DUIs given out, what have you. Now, they did kind of what they have right now with marijuana in the United States. In some states, it was legal. In some states, it was illegal. Well, what you had, for example, say if in Ohio, it was illegal to drink at 18, and the legal age was 21. But if Pennsylvania had it at 18, they found through research and data analytics that people would come from Ohio to go to Pennsylvania to get their alcohol, obviously at 18, and
that's crazy.
The deaths would be directly correlated towards like the laws, and they figured that it saves more lives if just throughout the whole entire country, and states would pass, one by one, for their states to be 21 and over instead of 18.
That doesn't help, I think, when you're downtown now, especially what I've been hearing with people getting in at underage. Like, that's just not right there. But the thing is that like, none of these bouncers are like, there's maybe that one strict one. All these other ones just say go party. That's literally what it is.
Well, I remember back when the social was a thing. I was maybe I was 19.
Time.
Yeah, I know
what a time.
It was last year.
Spring 2021 right there, the social, let me just tell you.
It was weird. I didn't start going. I never really went downtown because I didn't have a fake. And I figured, well, there's no point. It's only a couple more months until I turn 21. But I remember we were down there for the Italian Fest, and they had like country singers or whatever. They had singers. What's that street? The street that's like it's concrete now.
You talking about Federal?
Is it Federal?
It's right off Federal.
Yeah,
where Susie's is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's that called? Phelps.
Phelps.
Okay,
yeah.
We're on Phelps, and there's a whole concert, right? And they were giving out like $2 beer in like this Cleveland Indians cup, right? So
it's basically 10-cent beer night.
Oh, it was fantastic. So we walk into the social, and they didn't even ask for the ID, dude. It was some guy. He's like, "What's in the cup?" I was like, alcohol." He's like, "All right, you go in."
Yeah,
just like that.
They
didn't give a shit.
You know, one of them, it's weird because here's the thing. I didn't trim my beard at this point, but when I was there during spring, I was with Ryan Marshall, a couple other guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think Trevor Leonard.
You're name dropping hella people.
I am name dropping hella people, but they're all cool. But I was with them, and for some reason they didn't say ID to them. But I walk in, and again, this is before I guess I had the shaved head too. You know what I mean? So it was before that. I walk in. I still have this big ass beard too, and they basically asked me, like, "Hey, ID." I'm like, "All right, here you go." And it's like, "It's yours." I'm like, "Yeah, it's real. What do you mean?" It's like I literally look like I'm 33 for crying out loud. I'm like, come on over here. It was just like, how do you mix that up and want like, again, I can understand maybe they did that too to my other guy, but the one who I said first doesn't even have a beard. He's a lot shorter than me too. It's like, how didn't you decide to card him, but you decided to card me with literally a beard the sides that at the time was like going out to here before I put it down.
I don't get it. Going back to, you said that You're a substitute in Youngstown City Schools. What's the craziest story? Like, have you ever encountered a fight? And if so, like, what's your like craziest story from
Have I encountered?
subbing?
Well, I guess one actually would be the TAF teacher being mad at me the next day when I was subbing somewhere because her room was a mess, even though I literally told the kindergartners that we're going over a lesson plan and they just wanted to try and steal stuff.
Huh.
Literally, yeah. And basically I had to move all the stuff so they didn't reach it, and she got mad at me for that too. Texted me basically saying, mad at me, you've got to be a better substitute teacher. I'm like, listen, how about you? I'm like, treat your kids better. Actually do better for your kids, all right? Instead of being a little clown that you are. Like, that's literally what I was like.
But in terms of like student on student, what's like the craziest like situation that may have maybe turned out into a fight if it wasn't stopped?
Oh,
what's the most like chaotic situation you've?
There's the PE one I told you about. Oh, that was a chaotic. Was there another? Which other one? I don't even know if there was many chaotic ones. Honestly.
Or is the stigma with Youngstown City Schools, is it exaggerated to an extent?
Oh, I mean, I guess one crazy one would be when I was subbing in McGuffey Middle School, like in the middle school and preschool, and all the sixth grade like girls and this guy stuff like that were basically talking about each other's private areas. So yeah, and again, these are sixth graders, mind you. I'm like, what? And they were dropping some bad words too. I'm like, literally, I had to put up the shut up.
Really?
I had to literally say shut up, like to all of them. It was like literally loud because I'm like, we shouldn't be saying any of this stuff. Like,
when it was your senior year, sophomore year for me at Ursuline.
My senior year.
Yeah, there was this one guy in my art class. What? His name was.
Was it Victor's art class, Mr. Victor?
No, it was the lady. I forget her name. Anyway, this guy's name. I forget his name. But basically,
did he play football with us?
Yes, he was a freshman. Carlin Adams. He was the one that when they were playing the freshman football game, he like got hit in the head, whatever, got a concussion, and ran into the woods and like threw up. Adams.
I mean, that's gonna do it. Honestly,
okay. Concussion. Well, he tried to tell us that the first time he had sex was when he was 10 years old.
That's no, I don't even want to hear stories like that. No,
we were like,
no story.
Carlin,
I don't want to hear it.
You couldn't even come. What do you mean?
You couldn't even. But it's weird.
Well, you get a sensation. But listen, he's like, and we're like, what do you mean? He goes, Hardin Elementary. I was like,
Harding Elementary.
I was like, you're kidding. You didn't have sex when you were 10 years old. See, I'm sorry, you didn't.
I've been to Harding. It doesn't ring a bell. All those kids hate each other. I'm serious too. All those city kids, they literally hate each other. None of them would even try and do that with anyone. Now, McGuffey Middle School, for the way what they say and how they are, it might be a possibility, but I don't think that would be as. I don't know how that. So basically, he said Harding Elementary.
Harding Elementary. That was his answer. Harding Elementary.
That's not a good.
I was like, huh. I wonder what's in the water over there.
Well, I've been in the water. I've been really in the water. All they are is just kids who some will listen, some won't. That's literally all it is. There's nothing like anything like that going on there for all I know. And I've been all around like that school too. Yeah. So the principal and superintendent, they like me a lot. They're like, we're happy for you to sub all the time over here. I'm like, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
I think closing out this, because we're about to end this segment in a second, I feel like what we should do or what should happen is to crack down on nonviolent drug crime, prison reform, because for a lot of people, they have family members, and oftentimes it's disproportionately males than females who are put away for like possession of marijuana, for example.
Yeah, one student I know, I'm not definitely gonna say a name but one I know in the school dad was arrested, then the boyfriend was arrested too, like from from the mom. So that's kind of a shame. I see why some of them don't really like are kind of like, I guess, nervous around guys because of that. So I try to be as cool as possible.
Yeah.
In situations. And it's again kind of like weird a little bit during that time too, because you don't know how some of them are gonna act. There's one second grader or third grader in this disability class that are just, it's unfortunate. Like they act like babies, like literally because of unfortunate things too. Yeah. And one of them smelled like cigarettes. It was.
We're gonna get right back to that. We have to cut this off before it cuts us off.
It cuts it off. So
we'll be right
back.
Talk
about your special ad, LP
money. We'll get a sponsorship real quick. We'll be right back. What's going on, everyone? I'm so glad you're listening to or watching the show. But before I let you go, I have one question for you. Do you want to support me? And no, honey, I'm not talking about emotional support. I'm talking about supporting the Luke Papala Show. How can I do this, you may ask? Well, lucky for you, I have the answer. In the description section of the show and under each episode, you'll find a link that says support this podcast. What you're going to do is you're going to click on that link. From there, you'll be able to become an official supporter of the Luke Papala Show for as little as 99 cents a month. That's right. Can you afford that $10 Starbucks coffee that you get 5 times a week? Yeah, I thought so. Then you can afford to support me for 99 cents a month. Can you afford the 20 packs of cigarettes that you buy multiple times a week? Yeah, I thought so. Then you can afford to support me for as little as 99 cents a month. Can you afford those 12 packs of condoms that you purchase multiple times a month to either use for your partner or practice putting on yourself? Yeah, I thought so. Then you can afford to support me for as little as 99 cents a month. So what are you waiting for? Become an official supporter. It'll be much more fulfilling than the 3 things that I just mentioned. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show. All right, we are back. So what I wanted to just finish up on is I feel like if we could somehow get everybody out of prison who was put there for nonviolent drug crime, which is stupid. Like I said before, disproportionately affects males more so than females. And then we get fathers, brothers, uncles back into these homes in the inner city. And, it's statistically proven that children with 2 parents in the home, I'm butchering this, but they do better in terms of, overall quality of life when they have 2 parents opposed to just 1. Obviously, because, you have a full family unit, compared to 1. And when you have a system that, it puts, like I said before, disproportionately puts fathers away more so than it does mothers, this is what happens. So yeah, I just feel like if we could get fathers back in the home somehow, then you would see a drastic decrease in crime in the inner cities because you have a full family unit that is just there to upbring the child or multiple children in a family the right way. And I feel like one way we could do this is, like I said, crack down on nonviolent drug crime somehow and just eliminate to start a possession of marijuana. Just eliminate that from being like a 2 to 5 year or whatever, however many years of a jail sentence that is, just eliminate that completely because I feel like that does nothing. And then it would save the taxpayer so much money because you would have a significantly less amount of people in jail.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And then obviously you wouldn't be paying taxes to, feed them and whatnot.
So, speaking about taxes, you hear about that inflation?
Who hasn't?
8.5. I mean, gas. So you want to know something? I ran by a gas station today, $4.95, super high. Yeah. Then when I was driving to your place, it's literally right by my house. I go past again, $5.16.
Ugh.
And it's just going to keep on going higher and higher. And I don't know what happened because, dude, it was a month ago. It was like $3.60, $3.50. It fell.
Huh. Yeah, it did.
It fell
for a period of time.
It was falling a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's like back up. So
I don't know. Everybody says, it's Biden's fault, and maybe it is, but I feel like you can't completely blame him on that. I feel like it's just supply and demand because he's for a long time.
In my opinion, he's part of it, but he's not.
Yeah. Well, every leader, when there's bad things that happen or prices go up in a country, they're at least somewhat to blame. Yeah. But I feel like because COVID happened and supply and demand, gas wasn't really in demand, so you saw it like $1.50, $1.50, $1.45, whatever, and that was normal. It was only right that it was going to go up so much because people weren't in their homes anymore. But it's not good.
No,
these things aren't good.
No,
I have a truck, granted, but I pay $100 plus to fill up.
That's not good. You see, I complain about my Toyota. My Toyota at first, when this was all going on, when I first got it, 2020, about 2025, like give me a full tank. It's about like 40, give me a full tank now. So I mean, it's compared to you. I'm
jealous.
Compared to you, it's nothing. You know what I mean? But It's still ridiculous. Like, it shouldn't be like this. Gas shouldn't be $5. Gas needs to go back down to where it was. Even if it's like $3.30, I'd be better with that than what we're having now. You know,
Shit, I'm cool with $4.
I don't know, but 4 is a little too high.
Anything less than right now, I'll take.
$4.99. $4.98. There you go.
Literally, just keep me under $100 to fill up my tank, man. And I'm fine. It's not like I'm hurting for money, but like it just sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know how you fix it.
I think you need that teacher's money. Is what you need.
That's also something I want to know. How much do you get paid as a sub, like per hour, or like like a salary?
City day, it's $120. So for someone like me who's still living with the fam, it's not bad, you know.
No.
But St. Christine, since I'm only there once a week, and besides, it's the diocese. You know how the diocese is.
Uh-huh.
It's 70.
Huh.
So here's you get maybe the more nastier kids, the kids that want to clown you. You make 120. You go with the kids who are under oath, but you only make 70.
Huh.
So, and you get out earlier on one. You get out around 4 p.m.
Yeah.
On the other one. So again, it's like a little bit of which one you want to choose.
Mm-hmm.
One you get less money, you get out early. The other one over here, you get out later, but you make double that. So, and half day you make 60 at the city. So,
really,
yeah,
that's not bad
for being there 3 hours now.
I feel like it would be hard at first, but I feel like eventually you could like develop relationships with these kids and like they'd be cool with you.
Oh, look, I mean, look at gotta give a shout out to Jesse Curry, Coach Curry, but look at him as a teacher. He's really good.
I wasn't at Ursuline when he was like subbing.
Well, he subs at Fitch.
But I remember him though. Yeah. Dude was jacked.
Yeah, he's a pretty good teacher. All the kids like him. He's cool. That's what it is. I try to be my own sense of cool. Also being like a little firm with them and stuff like that. Have fun with them. You know what I mean? Don't be, you know what I mean? Like last day of first grade, well, almost last day, I put on like Sonic the Hedgehog for them, the movie. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. I like it. They like it. That's all that matters.
I got you. Segueing on to a different topic, I'm curious about what other people think about this. What do you think about the current and future state of America?
Current future state.
Specifically the future, because we all know the current, right?
Well,
things aren't good. Things cost a lot.
Unless we get someone that knows what to do in office, we are in bad shape right now. But we're sending so much money to the Ukraine.
But even then, we still have this quote-unquote culture war that people talk about. There's still a bunch of problems with mental health in this country because of social media. Social media is bad. We still have school shootings. Yeah. Bad stuff is still going to happen unless something happens. So what do you predict in the next, say, 10 to 20 years will happen? Because, you see, I don't think that we're going to have a country for much longer.
I'm hoping that, hey, not even Trump 2024, you just got to go DeSantis or something like that, I feel like.
But do you really think that politicians like a president could save us from this downward spiral?
Honestly, LP money, it depends. It depends on what they do. You got some that may save you. It seemed like it was being a little bit saved and we were having our freedoms, and right now it's just going just down low. It all depends on who it is.
I just feel like as a country, when you look at like the Roman Empire, lasted about 1,000 years. The Greek Empire, 350 years, excuse me. The United States of America hasn't even been around for 250. Am I wrong?
I'll have to look that up.
1776 to 2022.
So
not even 250 years.
2022 minus 76, so 246.
Okay, so 246 years. It's a relatively short reign in terms of countries and empire status. And we're not an empire technically, although other countries that we bomb and just start wars in like the Middle East, like Iraq, for example, they could beg to differ. So I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see. No one has an answer for it right now.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we go forward.
Maybe Elon Musk can save us.
I don't know.
He won't. There's no way Elon. Look, I'm a big Elon guy. I know what he's trying to do over here with this whole thing. It's not going to work out, I feel.
What do you mean when
Twitter?
Twitter?
Well, he's trying to buy $44 billion. You know why he's backing out? This is all, I think, for attention over here. He's trying to say, "Hey, look what I'm gonna do over here," and then he's gonna pull right out because they're not gonna give him the fake bots or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
I saw that.
I feel like he's not gonna go through with it.
He wanted to see how many fake accounts they have.
Yeah, and apparently they were gonna show him, but I still don't think he's gonna go through with it. I feel like it's just for attention. I feel like it's a show thing.
Mhm.
And those who were all praised about it, those who were so hyped, are gonna just fall flat in their face, and they're gonna be like, "What were we thinking?"
I don't know about you. I like Twitter.
I don't
Love Twitter.
It depends.
It's my favorite thing.
You know, it's Glenn Griswold's favorite thing. If you
Really?
listen to this, oh, you see his replies ever? It's he has the best reply game ever.
And I feel like as soon as that happened, my algorithm, all of a sudden, it started showing me a lot more conservative like tweets.
It depends. Mine was mixed, I think.
It was all of a sudden like I would see like these
maybe
Fox News Republican pundits like on Twitter all of a sudden like.
No, I've seen. You know who was actually got back on Twitter because of that. I think because he was just left because he hated Tony. I don't know. Do you know Tony Siragusa?
Mm-mm.
You don't know Tony Siragusa, dude?
I do not.
The former NFL player won a Super Bowl with the Ravens back in 2000.
I do not.
Dude, you're young. You're young. I mean, I'm reading this book right now, but he came back on Twitter about it because he's a huge Republican guy. He's like, "Let's go, Elon Musk," and all that. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, stuff has literally changed a little bit, but then it went back to reality the next day, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I
feel like again, it's just a show thing. I feel like he's not going to go through with it.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I was enjoying Twitter beforehand. I'll enjoy Twitter after. The only time where I had a tweet that was removed was when I posted a Drake song that was like unreleased.
Copyright.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only time
happen.
I posted one of the lead singles that came out last year. It was called which one was that?
Which one are you talking about?
Anyway, it was one of his lead singles for his EP that he released on my birthday, actually, last year, 2 years ago, last year. Anyway, I put it out, whatever, because I just copy and paste. I videoed it on SoundCloud, whatever, put it out, copyright, whatever. Okay, that was the only.
You gotta be careful with that, dude, because if Drake can find out, he could, you know what I mean, try and get. Imagine Drake coming to your door, being like, "Hey, why are you copying my song, bro?"
If he did that, I would.
What do you feel like you're in heaven if Drake came to your door?
It would be awesome. I love to have
even for the wrong reasons.
I would love to have a conversation with that guy, but I feel like I don't get like blindsided by like celebrities. Like I wouldn't be like, oh my god, like pull down my pants and bend over. Like I wouldn't do that for him at all.
I'm not going that far. I'm just saying you would.
Some people would.
Some people.
I don't know. I feel like in terms of like celebrities, like they're not regular people, but they are. Like they're not regular people in terms of like their lifestyle and what they do on a day-to-day basis. But at the end of the day, they still.
I would hate being a celebrity, honestly, because think about it, you have all this attention around you. You know what I mean? You have cameras watching you almost every single second.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just you trying to live like your normal life.
Some people do.
If you're like a rapper and all that, yeah, because you do one false thing and they'll immediately catch you. But if you're someone like Tom Brady, you love it because you've been doing that already.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of depends on the person. And if you get fame too early in life, then you're kind of screwed.
Tell you what, I thought you'd been famous too. I mean, hey, you got the podcast, and before that, you were a star football player at the Ursuline Irish, weren't you?
No, I wasn't a star.
Come on, yeah. I mean, I've seen the highlight film. You weren't bad.
I put that together myself.
Put that together yourself over here?
Yeah.
I mean, so what about how about like your football career though? I mean, you know what I mean? Because we also want to talk a little bit about that too.
It was fun. I had a fun time.
Were you anywhere before Ursuline though after that or what?
After Ursuline, no.
I mean before Ursuline. Were you anywhere like before Ursuline? Like played anywhere else football wise?
I played at for St. Charles. Back then it was called South Catholic.
Yeah, South Catholic. I remember that rivalry. North Catholic, Wildcats, South Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the days.
Yeah. We were good, I think. We were 4-4 when I was in 7th grade and 5-3 when I was in 8th grade. And it was fun, dude. I had fun playing football, even though we sucked. in high school, I still had fun.
It was because I mean I remember my senior year you got in a little bit sometime. But like I think we never even like knew who each other was. We were on different ends. I feel like when I was there, when I played for Ursuline, it seems like we were like the Blue Mountain State almost.
Yeah,
with how many players we had.
Well, here's the thing: we'd be running, and you'd be over there just kicking. You wouldn't have. They wouldn't make you run, you bastard.
No, they made me run. Senior year, yeah, but, bro, they made me run all the time. I hated football conditioning so much. I hated literally football lifting too, and now I just love lifting.
Huh.
I mean, you can see how much I transformed compared to my senior year when you first met me. It's like
it's crazy how stuff like that works. Like you never think you'll be doing something. Like I never thought I'd be having a podcast, but here we are.
Yeah. So you want to know actually one of the best stories when I was playing football at Ursuline?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I first start. So I have a great game against Farrell. All right. And because our other kicker, Hintz, I think got hurt in a soccer game with his nose, and he had like get stitches, so he was out for that week.
Yeah,
I have a great game, and at the time, Johnny Mansell was this popular quarterback from just coming out Texas A&M, going into the NFL draft for the Browns.
I wanted that dude so bad,
but I do the money team. Mm-hmm. The problem is Rudolph's still filming. I think during that time,
Donnie,
and Rudolph. It was also on KBN, and they caught it.
The pedophile, Donnie Rudolph.
Stop. Let's not go that far. But Kemp caught it, and the next, not the Saturday, but we're going for PAT. I think it is Monday. I'm getting right. He pulls me real quick. He's like, "OB," loud as hell to everyone, not even just silent. He's like, "If you do this again, I'm gonna come over there and break your fucking finger out."
Poor Kemp.
And if I ever have him on my show, I'm gonna talk to him about that too. We're gonna have so much laughs about that.
I remember he was yelling at Luigi Rohrboff or something, and then he's like, "You don't go up the A gap. You're going up the B gap. You stupid fucking Italian." Yeah, because Kemp's he's Irish.
Yeah,
so he's like racist to Italians. Apparently, poor Luigi, he just took it.
No, but you know, it is weird because during that time I thought like he was like always against me or something like that, especially when I kicked because I was just average when I did that. But it's after, but you know what I found out because you know they always want you to do good, and if they keep on saying your name about something, that means according to what I've seen about like the HBO Hard Knocks with the Ravens, that came back way back then that I watched this past year, they see potential in you, and they want you to get better. So if they keep on calling your name, that's when you're in good shape. When they stop calling your name and stop talking about you, then you gotta worry.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I thought it was always me about worrying, but now that I'm looking back at it, it's like I was right there for everything. But I kind of fucked up a little bit. I want to say, not by like anything bad, just I wasn't doing the job right. You know what I mean? And it wasn't so much my 2 years, especially when I played a bunch. Didn't start, but I played because I did end up winning the starting position in 2015 for a little bit. But it was more so my senior year where I just stunk a bunch compared to my last 2 years. So it was weird. It was also like the team now that you see, a lot of them, I think they fall by a moral. You know what I mean? It seems like, again, when we were there, we were like the Blue Mountain State of everything.
Well, yeah, because I feel like, I don't want to say stuff was unorganized because it wasn't, but.
It was what it was that you go, you play your game, and then you go party afterwards is what it was. Well, not for me, but guys you know some of them. I know some of them. I definitely know some of them that were always partiers, and they would go to these different campful houses, party. You know what I mean? That's literally one of the houses there. There literally be a Blue Mountain State.
I never partied after games, but there was this one time we had a couple friends. I'm not gonna like say their names.
What game was it?
This was my junior year.
Okay, so 17.
We just lost to Benedictine.
First game of the season, right?
Yeah, first game of the season at home.
I remember that because you guys were actually in that game. And then my boy Pablo right there, Julian, I remember he fair catches. He's trying to fair catch and he drops the ball right there, and I knew right away you guys. Well, you guys were in that game.
There were a bunch of new starters.
Yeah.
But anyway, after the game, me and these 3 other people go to Steak and Shake. Whatever, we go to Steak and Shake, and it took a long time to get our food. So I'm sitting next to somebody, and then we're facing the other 2 people. The other 2 people are brothers. I'm not going to say their names. So they get pissed.
Are they from Ursuline or where are they from?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
But they get pissed, right? And so we're in Steak and Shake, and it's packed. There's a line out the door, and they're pissed. Now, the food finally comes, and the food was cold. They didn't like that, right? So we're waiting for the check, and they're like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's just leave.
Yeah.
And me and my one friend were sitting next to each other. We're like, what? So all of a sudden, they dip. And they're just gone. They didn't even pay for their food. They dined and dashed. And we were like, well, shit, we can't just pay, for their food.
Yeah.
So we had no choice but to dine and dash.
Does anything else happen after that or what?
Well, no, I got a bunch of Steak and Shake stories. Dude, this one time I was with a friend. I don't even know why we were there, but I was with a couple friends. And it's late. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, right? And
Steak and Shake was 24 hours, or is it still 24 hours? I don't know because
I'm not sure. Pre-COVID it was.
Yeah. Well, but I need to know what is post-COVID. Maybe you can talk about it. Let me see that though.
Well, basically, you know how people have like those phone holders? They attach the windshield to your car, right?
Yeah.
There's this guy sitting right in front of the door to Steak and Shake. And I walk past and I thought I saw something. Okay. So I keep walking and I'm looking inside this car and I just see this dude. Literally, if this is the phone, he's looking and he's like, dude was jerking his dick. He was jerking off in the car right in front of everybody. He was literally stroking his cock right in front of the door to Steak and Shake, right? And I'm supposed to just accept this.
What?
Right. So I tell my friends, I'm like, look at this fuck. And we're just like terrified. We all start screaming. We run to our cars, right? I run to my car. Okay, so I put in reverse. I'm looking, right? All of a sudden, his car starts. His car starts to reverse. This dude follows me. Dude, I'm like, holy shit! Because I was pointing. I was like, look at this guy! Holy shit!
You ever have that instance where like you're driving and you think someone's following you, but really they're just driving. They're going like the same direction because like they might live like kind of like maybe a couple roads down from you.
I don't know, but I had to lose him in traffic. I was so scared.
I feel like that sometimes, like if someone's following.
Dude, that's not my only Steak and Shake story too.
By the way, Steak and Shake's now closed at midnight.
They're a bunch of dirtballs in Steak and Shake. I hate that place.
Really?
They can all go to hell.
What they do to you?
Those people, the
workers,
those white trash employees. I hate that place so much. Those degenerate workers that work there. Those people who literally have fake teeth. I don't like these people. Let me tell you.
So you're saying if Kenny Porter was probably white trash, he'd be working there.
Anybody who works at Steak and Shake deserves to die. That's just me. Anyway,
let's not go too far.
So no, listen to this. They ruined my experience. I was a fan of Steak and Shake. I would literally, if I had to, I would picket outside of Steak and Shake, like picket and protest, like, or not protest, but like endorse them, right? Like go. I'd be the dude on the side of the road with the arrow. I dance with the arrow. I don't care.
What do you have a costume on like they usually have?
Dude, I'd wear a banana. I would humiliate myself for Steak and Shake.
Oh, speaking of banana, that was my Halloween costume senior year.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was a banana, and I never knew what like it meant at first, but then I realized is banana probably something for a dick.
That's the eggplant. I feel like.
But at the time, this is 2016-17, remember, compared to
the dick emoji was still around.
It was? Yeah. 17? Is that when emojis first started to become a thing?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I might have been in like, because I remember distinctly sending a girl I used to date when I was in 8th grade, the crying laughing emoji. Mm-hmm. I remember that shit. It was before that.
So 14 maybe? What year were you in 8th grade?
2015.
Okay, so
2014, 15. Yeah. So it had to be earlier than that. It was probably like 2012, 2011, maybe.
Dude, for real, I feel like that thing's just brand new.
I'm telling you, it's not. But anyway, no, listen. So this one day I get Steak and Shake, right? Takeout. Yeah. I was all excited. Got a bunch of shit. 2 burgers, 2 small fries, milkshakes, another burger, like literally the works. I'm opening up with my girlfriend at the time. This was senior year of high school. And I open up the burger. And I open it up to put ketchup on my burger. Mm-hmm. And a giant fake eyelash.
Oh.
Right in the middle of the burger.
Ew. What?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're
A giant fake eyelash.
did it like actually fall in when she was probably
I don't know, but it was just there. Big ass fake eyelash.
Ew. You're probably at that point like, yeah, I'm gonna take you. Let's go to like
We got it. No, it was to go.
to go.
So we were at her house at the time. I was like, oh, I threw it all away.
You probably threw it.
Her shit too. I didn't care.
Yeah.
It was just so disgusting.
Did you get
How white trash do you have to be to lose an eyelash?
I don't know.
And these degenerates, they probably didn't even realize she probably didn't realize she lost an eyelash.
Yeah. Well, why are you wearing fake eyelashes too to work?
Yeah, you're obviously a piece of dirt anyway.
That's just how I see it. You gotta come into work and just do what you can. Don't wear any fake eyelashes.
Or just quit.
Yeah.
Would have helped me.
Become an OnlyFans star.
Probably, because these people can't contribute anything to society anyway, so just start an OnlyFans.
Make some money off that.
Yeah, go, sell yourself for $7.99 a month and then
That's so stupid.
see what happens.
I don't know why people do that, but that's just.
Oh, I do. They're desperate for money. I don't blame them. Dude, listen.
Yeah,
if I was a girl, I'd be a whore. I'd be a whore. I would post. I would post my ass all the time. I'd do like one of those things, like how girls take selfies, right? They put their breast in, for people to get attention. Because
you ever see Snapchat like where girls are like definitely clothing up, but there's always the cleavage like showing.
Well, yeah, because nobody would pay attention to them otherwise. I mean, they're boring ass people. They have no personalities. I don't blame them.
I mean, you try to have a conversation like with one and stuff like that, and weird. I was saying like try and make one up, and then she's like, "What?" or something like that. Like,
yeah, like a lot of girls.
Saying, like
a lot of girls
just try and start something,
And they say I'm sexist and a misogynist, and I'm just a realist.
I don't know. You might be a little bit involved, but it's for cool like that.
I'm not, because this is a feminist show, but a lot of you girls are dumb.
The blue hair girls are gonna come after you, dude. So
they can do their worst. I'm non-binary.
They're gonna come knocking at your door.
Well, I'm non-binary.
Here. John Paul's gonna open the door, and there's gonna be.
I'm literally non-binary,
really?
So they can't. Yeah, they can't hurt me.
They can't.
I'm in the community.
So
I'm in the community. What more can you say? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what you could really say about that. We went from talking about just football parties to just feminism.
No, not even the feminists. No, to all the blue-haired people.
All the blue from your last episode.
That they don't think I'm non-binary. Prove it.
From your last episode. Oh, dude, that episode was.
Prove it. You can't, because I'm non-binary.
See, I thought your podcast ended, then all of a sudden I saw a new one. It's Where Have I Been? So I'm glad.
Yeah, I've been working.
Yeah, that's nonstop. Yeah, nonstop. I mean, have you ever recorded one at night when your parents are asleep?
No.
Podcast, dude, you gotta be super silent. You gotta be like, okay, tonight we're gonna be talking about this.
That's not who I am.
Well, that's not who I am either. But in my house, you gotta be super silent with that. It's like the only time I could do that too.
Yeah. Well, as a non-binary person, I feel like I should, be able to tell my experiences in a certain way. And if people come for me, then they're homophobic. It's that simple. So screw off.
We went from talking about Ursuline football to this.
This is monumental. I just came out as non-binary on this show.
Congrats. Round of applause for LP Money right there, non-binary. Love it. So, real quick, if we're getting back on a little bit of that whole partying thing, how it was a little bit to Blue Mountain State. What else? Just during that time, I want to know, because your senior year, it was just abysmal, wasn't it? When did you find out your season was a dud? I should say.
When we lost to East.
But East was good. East made the playoffs that year.
Yeah, we didn't know that beforehand.
Well,
that was the first time Ursuline lost to East.
I feel like that whole staff let some D1 guys go. Robbie Sullivan could have been D1, I know. Blaine Lamar plays at Bowling Green now. He was on that squad. I remember he was at Ursuline until
James.
James was still there at Ursuline.
Phillips?
Yeah, he was with Ursuline. Yeah. He didn't transfer.
Oh no, I didn't think you were talking about that. For everybody that doesn't know, my senior year we went 1-9 for our football team. My junior year we went 2-8, and sophomore year
my senior year was 3-7.
Sophomore year we were 3-7. We're 2 years apart. Freshman year, I didn't play football, and they went to the state semifinals, which is like a game away from state. So the running joke was that I was the reason they stunk, because every year we just kept progressively worse.
Weirdest thing is, though, is that 2016, I remember this. We were in how many games? I felt like, we started off 2-0. We were in so many games, though. I remember Madison, we were only down 7-0 halftime, though we lost 30-0. Hoban, we were only down 10-6. We lost like 34-12 or something. Harding, we were only down, I think, by 2 touchdowns, and then Lynn Bowden just pulled his Lynn Bowden-ness.
NFL player Lynn
Bowden,
held him. I act like I did it. I played special teams as a sophomore. I didn't play. Held him 100 yards under his average.
Boardman, I remember we were in double OT. They scored
against NFL player Travis Coons.
Yeah, Travis Coons.
Shout out to Travis.
Because
respond to my Snapchat.
Well, you're on delivered still.
Yeah, he put a picture. He put a video of him in the Raiders uniform. And I was like, man, you're making the city proud. Congrats, bro. And he didn't say shit.
Oh, dude, he's never gonna reply to you. It's like
no, he will.
You think so?
I hope so.
You hope so? I mean, it's like when you follow Lynn, you know he's not gonna reply to you, but
he follows me.
Lynn follows me too. But anyway, so it was like Mooney, and then Mooney we were close, and then Pat Pelini stole the show. And you know what's weird about that game? We ran a 2-quarterback system. I don't know if you remember that.
We'll be right. We have to end it.
We'll be right back. More of this after a sponsor.
Fund my show. What's going on, everyone? I'm so glad you're listening to or watching the show. But before I let you go, I have one question for you. Do you want to support me? And no, honey, I'm not talking about emotional support. I'm talking about supporting the Luke Papala Show. How can I do this, you may ask? Well, lucky for you, I have the answer. In the description section of the show and under each episode, you'll find a link that says support this podcast. What you're going to do is you're going to click on that link. From there, you'll be able to become an official supporter of the Luke Papala Show for as little as 99 cents a month. That's right. Can you afford that $10 Starbucks coffee that you get 5 times a week? Yeah, I thought so. Then you can afford to support me for 99 cents a month. Can you afford the 20 packs of cigarettes that you buy multiple times a week? Yeah, I thought so. Then you can afford to support me for as little as 99 cents a month. Can you afford those 12 packs of condoms that you purchase multiple times a month to either use for your partner or practice putting on yourself? Yeah, I thought so. Then you can afford to support me for as little as 99 cents a month. So what are you waiting for? Become an official supporter. It'll be much more fulfilling than the 3 things that I just mentioned. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the show. Alrighty, we are back. I'm trying to think what we were talking about beforehand. I came out as non-binary, monumental. We
were talking about our football careers, kind of like at Ursuline.
That's right.
Real quick though, breaking news: Commanders fined defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio $100K over his comments, comparing basically the January 6th, 2021 invasion to the protests that followed the murder of George Floyd.
They're the Redskins.
You can't say Redskins anymore, though. You know what's going to happen if they say Redskins, right?
This isn't a politically correct show.
Yeah, it isn't. So, I mean, you can say whatever you want, really.
You can, but you just have to be able to deal. You could really say any word, but for some words...
I just don't think – I don't know why the NFL is going to fine him for that. I mean, it has nothing to do with the NFL.
Some words are not in my vocabulary. A couple racial and homophobic slurs are not in my vocabulary. However, if somebody does say them, they should be prepared to deal with the consequences.
I feel like Commander just kind of – like he's trying – Dan Snyder's trying so hard to pull like that whole –
What a terrible owner.
Oh, yeah. He's trying so hard because, look, what do you think Commander's is supposed to be? You know what it's supposed to be? He's trying to command you to do something. He wants to be, like, you know what I mean? He wants to be your ruler.
It's Pride Month. I wonder if he's commanding the players to pull their pants down for him.
Well, how about the Tampa Bay Rays actually? You know how some of them were, like, kind of uncomfortable putting all their the Pride flags, like, you know, on their jersey. So, you know, you're just not used to that because you don't want to, like, cause maybe, like, tension, I guess, or people might not like you for that.
As somebody that's... in the community, I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, But Sarah Spain from ESPN got mad at that apparently too. Again, though, it's like I don't know why we were talking about that. Like, there's so many sports things going on in NHL. You know what I mean? And we were talking about with our high school careers too. So, let's see. We were talking about all the years I played, and then go ahead.
I just want to say you shouldn't force people to do anything.
No,
you shouldn't. Whether that's get a vaccine, have an abortion, you shouldn't have wear a gay pride flag or a little patch, whatever.
Shouldn't force someone to do drugs.
Yeah, you can't force anything on somebody. But when it comes to the government shouldn't be involved in telling people to do anything as well. Yeah. So you can't tell people that they can't have abortions, even though whatever you might feel religious. Like, I don't feel that abortions are moral. I don't feel that that's a good thing. No. But who am I?
But your freedom, that's your freedom of choice. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And just because people say I'm pro-choice doesn't mean that they're pro-choice for them. Yeah. So when people, I feel like people that are Republicans are like hardcore right-wingers, like they talk about these things, but it's the same thing with people on the left. People that are on the right, they want the government to enforce
what they want.
Exactly.
And the left wants to do the exact same
people
thing.
On the right, they want people on the right, they want abortions to be enforced by the government in terms of people. They don't want women to be able to get abortions, and they want the government to enforce that. People on the left, they say, oh, you don't have a vaccine, I want the government to force you to get vaccinated. So it's the same thing, just manifesting itself in different ways. That's why all this political bullshit, it's the same thing. Yeah. These people are all the same, and everybody falls for it.
They're terrible. That's what they are. They're all scumbags, and people don't know that. People are like, "Oh, no, they're savior." They don't care about you as a thing. They don't even know who you are.
I use that term very lightly, savior. I never use that term.
What do you use, savior? Savior booty?
No, I just think I don't know. There's only one savior if we're being correct.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but we were talking about real quick about your football career, my football career. Now.
We had fun.
Yeah, we did have fun. I feel like though, in a way, I always wanted to like maybe head to the next level and stuff like that. Tried it, but then it was like my senior year was like graduate. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And I liked it better what I've been doing now, with everything that's been going on in my life, and especially when I worked with YSU football for those 2 seasons. I think that was a way to get in it too. And I feel like maybe I could have went somewhere for college, played, but I don't think it would have worked out. Do you feel like, in your perspective, LP Mike, do you think you could have like made it D1 somehow, or like walked on somewhere D1?
I don't know.
At least does like football or basketball, because I know you played both sports.
I wasn't good enough for basketball.
Really?
When it comes to basketball, you have to be a certain height first off. I wasn't that. I'm 5'11" and 3/4. I tell people I'm 6'1". Mostly girls, even though I'm non-binary, but. It just depends. You have to have a certain height for basketball, or it's automatically you're not in it. Football, I don't know. I feel like I was better at football, but I like basketball more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really think I was good. That's just me, because I'm not one to say like to toot my own horn or anything like that. I don't know. I feel like anybody, if they do anything, they can achieve a goal, but I have no clue. Playing Division I football, it's tough. It's a grind. From what I hear, you wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock. They go lift around 6. I want to say films right after. Well, right now it's just summer stuff. But I'm talking about once the season comes. I know YSU Monday, Wednesday, Friday they had that. It's so much different from what you would see in high school, like what I mean, where you go lift and practice right after school.
Yeah, it's like it's not a lifestyle in high school, but college, like you live and you breathe football.
Lived and breathe, and you have to live in a dorm room. You get food from the kitchen in the stadium. Who's working there? So it's definitely different. I see why a lot of people.
But you're ripped.
Yeah.
Unless you're a lineman.
Oh, unless you're linemen are ripped.
Really? Even in college?
Yeah. So I've seen
all of them.
Most of them, yeah. Most of them are big and ripped, dude.
Huh.
A lot of D linemen, O linemen at YSU, yeah. D1 college football, dude, they are stacked ripped. It's unreal.
Wow.
A lot of muscle.
Wow.
I mean, and there's tall too. They're big, they're tall. It's
of course you have to be tall for football as well if you want to be D1.
I feel like I don't know what it is. I feel like the heights shrunk during my junior to senior season. I feel like because when I came in, we had Chris Durkin, tall. We had Zach Sheets, super tall. Jordan Davis, guys who you would think would play D1. They were just that tall.
Yeah.
But as the season went, the years went on, it felt like everything was like shrinking. If that makes sense, like height wise.
Yeah.
And it felt like we were just all small, like my senior year. Felt like, which was weird.
Well, I remember. I think I was a sophomore. I might have been a junior, but ESPN came to Youngstown, or was it? It was College Game Day, right?
For
Dave Portnoy came and he autographed that girl's tits.
Taylor Gordon.
Taylor Gordon.
That was Barstool, yeah.
Barstool, yeah, Dave
Barstool,
Portnoy, yeah. But then also, I feel like I think that College Game Day came.
I don't think it came. It was originally going to come. I think it was my freshman year, and then YSU blew a game against Northern Iowa, and they couldn't after that. But no, in a way, that's what happened. And I want to ask you this actually. So,
go ahead.
Senior year, all right. After the season, 1-9, Kemp gets fired. You know what I mean? Quote unquote re-signed, but we know what happens.
Yeah.
Well, because it was in November. Was he there during the banquet? Do you remember? Because banquet's December, right?
Huh.
Banquet's December, right? And he was fired in November. Was he there during the banquet? I gotta know, because that would just be. Because think about it in your perspective, you just get fired.
Was he?
And you're just there during the bank, and you're there, and there's a banquet the next month.
Okay, so anybody that doesn't know, senior year, we went 1-9. Our head coach, who won 3 state championship titles as the defensive coordinator, was promoted to head coach after that head coach.
Reardon went to Colorado.
So he just left.
And then he went to McKinley.
And so our head coach that got fired made numerous playoff appearances, like 5 straight, whatever. 4 straight, 5 straight.
2012 to 2015.
And then the next 3 they missed. So he resigned. Because our school was like serious about football. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know if we had him. I don't think that he was there.
Because I want to know who was going to be in charge.
It was Paul. I think it's Paul.
PK?
PK, yeah.
Well, because how's that? That was awkward for PK. Imagine too at that time too.
I would imagine it's still awkward because doesn't he coach now?
Well,
he coaches baseball, but doesn't he also do football too?
No, he's football and Niles. Yeah, no, it's football and Niles. He's fine with that. I think they originally, actually, from what I heard, they wanted him to stay, but he just couldn't. He just couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Because of family.
I wouldn't do that to my dad.
Yeah, they wanted him to stay, but
he
just said, "No, it's not going to work out like that." But that's why I had to ask you that, because that'd just be awkward. Because imagine you have to go to a banquet, kind of like right after you were like let go and stuff.
I mean, listen, the food was good.
The food was good.
I'll eat food. I can't find college games. So okay, you must be right.
Yeah,
then.
Well, so
damn.
I feel like, because I watched you guys a lot during 2018 too. It was like, what was the problem really? Was it just like not a lot of leadership, or what was it?
Where do I start? I don't know. Because I don't know what it takes to have like a winning football team. We just didn't have a lot of I don't even know. I literally don't know what it takes to have a winning football team.
Was like the coaching staff, right? Or what was it?
No.
So who were some of these? I mean, I don't remember most of the coaches. I just remember like they would have them like on a scout team.
Coach Sam. Coach Sam was my favorite coach.
And he's at JFK now too.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. He's at JFK now, according to Casey Lugers from last night. What he told me.
What the hell? He jumped ship.
That's what I heard. I heard JFK, and I heard Mo Green's gone too. Because family and all that.
What'd he do? He was on the side. Oh, special teams. He was a special teams coach. Right. What'd he do?
No, I mean,
he said, "Go right, block left."
Well. So what else were you saying? So Coach Sam
was my favorite coach, because he's one of those coaches that like he'd be 100% with you. If you were cool and were just respectful and all that, he would like jump in front of a car for you. Like he was that type of guy. Mm-hmm. But don't fuck with him.
Yeah, no,
or else he'll rip you another asshole. Like he's one of those guys that are like really about it.
Yeah.
So he was one of my favorite coaches, and like he would take players home who couldn't drive yet, didn't have a ride, or were waiting, and the ride never came for whatever reason. Like he's a good dude. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about Coach Sam. A lot of the other coaches, though, it felt like they were just going through the motions. They didn't really care. They were just doing it to do it. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you have because I know there was kind of like a new shift. No Frascos were there. Ryan Kelly, I think, was just
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know those people.
Was there for a little bit, and there was I remember others. You said there was a lineman coach who played at YSU. That was one of your coaches, right?
Coach Moss, Zach Moss. He was played at YSU. I think he sacked Connor Cook. One of the games when YSU upset Michigan State. Maybe that was before Connor Cook.
No, they beat Pitt. They'd never beat Michigan State.
They played Michigan State because it was in his profile picture. He was sacking Connor Cook, or he was hitting Connor Cook.
And it was just not really a good showing.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't know how you have a winning football team because I was never there for one.
You when I was there, you had JD, Frascos. So yeah, Kemp was running it, but you also had a lot of these other ones who played for us and knew what to took the win and were part of championship teams.
Yeah, I don't know.
Catrone was there. I felt like Catrone. It depend on what he thought about him. I liked him. Also.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Catrone.
Yeah, he's a great history teacher.
Yeah, I felt like he could do a good job coaching wise as well.
You don't have to have much to be a great history teacher.
Yeah, what I mean?
No, he's a great guy. I like Catrone.
Yeah,
he was a good coach.
But
just good overall guy too.
I remember
another good coach.
My senior year, we had 3 special teams coaches who all tried to help me. I know Hannah, I forget the coach's name, who was a Campbell police officer. Then some
Coach Rosen, R.I.P.
Rosen, R.I.P. Yeah, because a lot of stuff happened. Then I forget, how did he die? What happened with that?
I believe it was a heart attack.
Oh man, that's sad though. Because I remember seeing him when he was playing basketball one time at the Bournemouth.
I used to play with him.
Really? And there was him, and then there was Brian Palmer too, who came back for my senior year, which I thought was really helpful.
I remember that guy.
Right? No, so he kicked for YSU actually.
Really?
And he was there my freshman year, but then he left. Where did he go after that? Mineral Ridge, I think.
I don't know.
And then he came back. Then he left again, became the head coach actually at Sebring for a bit, and I was assistant in Poland or something like that.
Ooh. A lot of our coaches were just fucks.
I feel like most high school coaches are what I mean?
Yeah.
What I like about the Urson staff now, it's kind of like they're more into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lynch is more into it. You have him.
Mr. Lynch is a good guy.
Yeah, Coach Lynch.
Coach Lynch is
right
a good
there.
guy.
Reardon runs a good program. I feel like
it's
all going good. It's kind of different though when you're on staff with Reardon compared to when you're talking with Kemp, because Kemp, you'll talk with him, joke around with him, so he'll love to have conversations with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reardon, when I was on staff, because I know you never really spoke to him much, right? It was more. It was more because when I was little at the time, I'd always go play with his son on the trampoline that they had. And Keith Teague would always be there too because he lived there at the time. I feel like though when I got older and stuff like that, my first year while I was with him, it'd feel like just everything was kind of off a bit. Maybe it's just they're trying to recoup, but it's he'll want to have a conversation with who he feels like you know what I mean, compared to some others. And once in a while he'll maybe kid around with you, but he didn't really, I think, vibe with my vibe and stuff like that. Yeah, I messed some things up and take fault for that, but I feel like with Kemp, him and I, we could have conversations back and forth for a while. That's just how it is.
What do you think, John Paul?
We're gonna have a star guest with John Paul coming over here.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yo,
he's not listening. But
for those on the camera,
his brother plays football at Urson.
Yeah, but I guess he doesn't want to come on.
He's camera shy.
Yeah, I guess. Eat a dick. See, he didn't care. Anyway, probably has AirPods in, but
probably.
Yeah, from what I hear, Coach Reardon's a super nice guy.
Yeah,
obviously he's transformed the program because last year they went to the state championship.
Yeah,
lost. I was at that game.
It was. I think the second half it was kind of a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, they blew it.
It was McElroy. All you had to
they
do
blew
was
a lead completely.
All you had to do was run the ball out and you win that game. There's no.
But still, credit to them. Their the senior class, their freshman year, they were 1-9.
Yeah,
you make it the state championship. I mean, that's awesome. That's not something that regular people can do.
Yeah, I think what changed also was that weight room program. I love Coach Smith. I think he did a lot of stuff when you were there. I feel like
Roland.
I like him. He was
good guy.
Yeah, he was up wise. I feel but there were circuits, and I know Reardon never does circuits.
Well, the circuits. What a circuit is, for anybody watching that doesn't know, basically it's I don't know, what would you say, 20 reps of something maybe?
Oh, not even 20. It's compared to like when the whistle blows.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you're in the gym and you're just doing like sets with your group.
And you got to go to the right part. And if you're not, you start over.
It's like in a circle. So you have a weight rack here, whatever. You're doing different things. 30 seconds go by, boom, they blow the whistle, you go to the next thing, and you don't really get any rest. You just continuous.
See, I don't really like that because you got to catch your breath at some point.
Well, yes, but in terms of endurance, I feel like that's a good way to get endurance.
I feel like I was never a fan of it. I feel like it wasn't.
Well, different people have different opinions on it.
I felt like Bartos wouldn't do something. I felt like when he came back, he didn't do anything like that with Ursula. And I feel like that's what their legit program. They don't do any circuits about that right now.
I'm not sure. I don't know the science behind it. I know different people have different opinions because everybody.
Was there anyone that was like jacked your senior year, or were they all kind of
James Phillips?
Anyone else?
No.
Oh man, that like not even like big or anything. Just like
I mean, you got Lyman big, but
not like what you see now or something, or you didn't.
James Phillips was the only. Shout out to James.
He was like
dog.
So like with a max out, he was like what the highest bench and squat out of everything.
Probably. I mean, he wasn't that good at squatting because his knees. In terms of squatting, it was probably Louis Del Colli.
How much did he get? I imagine he got like 500 probably.
I couldn't even name it. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. I'm trying to think.
Dan Henry?
No, I think it was. Excuse me, I think it was Louis.
Because I mean, I remember Jonesy had like 1,000 yards. Imagine him on like the Ursuline Light now. It'd be.
I don't even know, but James Phillips, who went on to play for Western Michigan football, he was the most jacked.
Really?
He was that dude.
How many D1 athletes did you play with or against besides James?
Gosh, that's the thing. Even though we sucked, our schedule was good. Like we played Akron, Hoban, Massillon, Washington. Hoban won the state championship all 4 years I was there. We played them every year. Massillon, Washington won the state championship.
Your senior year?
Yeah, senior year.
And I remember your senior year. For some reason, you guys, jersey-wise, always wore your home jerseys.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that. Steubenville, who won the state championship, multiple state championship winners, and people that were like advanced far in the playoffs.
Yeah, you played like Benedictine, of course. That's usually a decent program.
Yeah, we played Nolan Rumler, center at Michigan. He's a center right now, plays for Michigan. Really? Safety for Navy from Hoban. Running back for Pitt from Hoban. Another running back from Pitt from St. V's. Gosh.
So you had basically the ACC crew right there.
Yeah. K-Ron Adams. Played for Rutgers. Now I believe he plays for UMass.
Maybe.
Right? I'm not sure.
I remember that name.
Running back. He wasn't good, but whatever.
Well, he still went D1 like that. If you're on D1 team,
obviously you're good. But
yeah,
we lost the game, but he wasn't big to me.
You guys play like I remember. God, who do we play against? Who did I play against my career? Lynn Bowden.
Played against Lynn.
Yeah, I played against
NFL
Lynn.
player.
I played against Lynn, Danny Clark,
Travis Coons, Travis Coons, NFL player, Danny Clark. Went on to play quarterback for Kentucky.
I guess we could count Pat Pelini because he was on a D1 team. He walked on Notre Dame,
sure.
So you could count him if you want to too. So that's 4 right there. Who else did I play against? God. I guess at the time because he was about to join the YSU's team as well. I think Finney Santisi because he was technically there, then he quit. Ray Anderson, actually, there's one.
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Santisi, John Murphy.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I played against
them. They walked on.
I know they did.
They're Division I. Hey, shout out to those boys real quick. Shout out to Jason and John.
John Murphy's my dude.
It was his birthday. He turned 21 a couple days ago. Yeah, shout out to Murph, bro.
With who did I say? Oh yeah, it was who did I just have I was talking about, but it was who else was Ray Anderson. So he was out wise. I remember then he transferred to Southern.
Yeah.
There's so many other people who like
Blaine Lamar. Inspires
again. Yeah, Blaine Lamar. I don't know how you guys lost him. He went to Bowling Green.
I didn't play with him ever.
He was on when I was there.
Yeah.
But like there was a decent still. I know back then there was like a lot more, especially my freshman year, a lot more D1.
But
prospects.
still, bro, like
I guess Andrew Armstrong the year before a little bit.
I forgot about
year before when I played against him. But there was still like some decent prospects. Like
Yeah.
and the whole part of it. And it's
Sean
like
O'Hara just committed to
Sean
Kentucky, or
O'Hara.
just playing football at Kentucky now. That's the thing. Like this area, in terms of like
tons of athletic skill.
tons. In terms of like football players in general, a lot of D1 athletes that come from here. Luke Fulton.
Luke
Shout out to
Fulton.
Luke.
Jake Cummings, who played for Campfield and then was a
Yeah.
wide receiver
Used
at Youngstown State. He graduated.
Used to work out with him at Nash Dog. Shout out.
He graduated. I know. You have some from Western PA too. Pat Minnock, who graduated from Y. So you have a bunch of those guys.
Bro,
Jeff Marks, who was at the Naval Academy before.
Shout out to Jeff. Used to play with
Slippery
Jeff.
Rock. So yeah, he was my teammate too. It was. You had a lot of guys who were basically making it far.
Yeah.
But it's like I remember though, because Bo used to recruit a lot of local. They do definitely still recruit, but it was always like local except for Ursuline because there's just like no one besides James. You know what I mean? No, I think the only person he really recruited from Ursuline during that time was Mo, because he was D1, and Jared. Those like the only guys who he recruited. And Faves. Those were like the only players, but no one. And I think that was a problem with
Jared doesn't like me.
Really?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why Jared doesn't like me.
Why? He's cool with me.
I'll see dude in public. He won't say hi.
He's kind of silent, I feel like.
Yeah, I take offense to it.
Really? Oh, he says what's up to me, not to say to me. He says what's up and won't say it. Gives me a handshake.
I don't even get that. He didn't even look at me.
Oh,
he didn't even look at me.
Messed up, dude.
Dude was my quarterback for a year.
You blocked for him against Borman.
Yeah, because I never got the ball.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thanks.
But no, there was.
I hold no ill will to you, sir.
There were so many people that we played with and against though, and especially like during my time. And it's where we had athletic skill like my time there. I mean, you had Kimani, you had Dion, you had the Spinxes, you had Armini, you had Mo, you had a bunch of those players who could have. Honestly, some of them did make it like the college and play at the next level. Even was like D2 or something, but like you only had like I think a couple D1s before that. But I think it like sunk after that. I don't know. I heard enrollment was it, but like I don't know.
It wasn't enrollment. I'll tell you that. I was one of the first people to come from like this part of the area that like really made like going to Ursuline popular.
What was the reason then? Would you say?
Well, it's because Mooney. People were my parents at least, and a bunch of other parents were unhappy with Mooney.
Well, as you see, it seems like times have definitely turned out because when Mooney was being Ursuline, you guys are sinking ship. Now Mooney's the one in trouble. And
listen, I feel like in order to keep I don't think that Mooney should close. I don't think that Ursuline should close. I think that the area is strongest when you have the two Catholic high schools at full strength. Obviously, right now it's not the case. But from what I hear, at least. But in the future, you want both schools to succeed because they're both Catholic high schools. I don't hold any ill will towards Mooney. I don't care. I'm not in that like petty high school bullshit, whatever. No. But you want to see both schools succeed.
Yeah. I think Mooney. I hope they get back on top. I know they do have some pretty decent talent there. It's just they just can't get out. It seems like there's always some off-season issues with them a bit.
I'm a little saucy right now.
Why? Oh, drunk or what?
Nah, just a tad.
Oh, tad buzzed?
Tad buzzed.
How many did you have? You just had one cup.
No, I have more.
Well, before this?
I'm almost done with this one, too. And I've been pouring a little bit.
Oh, my God, dude. You're an animal.
Not really.
Don't go drink it. Don't go driving anywhere tonight.
I'm here for the rest of the day, probably.
Smart choice.
Unless you're trying to get food after.
Order some Avalon DoorDash.
Yeah, bro. Well, not Door. Have you ever been to Kebab House?
Where's that?
Like 5 minutes away.
5 minutes away? No, I have not.
We go there. If you want to drive, it's fine. But
I don't care.
I'll cover the meal.
All right, perfect. I don't mind that. But no.
But anyway, no, dude. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the Ursuline Mooney rivalry, it's a fun rivalry.
Yeah, it is.
Especially like we're talking about high school, obviously.
Mooney Week was fun when I was a student because you had all those videos going on. You had the pep rallies. Those were super fun.
I enjoyed playing basketball more.
You did?
Especially when you get to Mooney, because Mooney, there's not as much bleachers as Ursuline.
Yeah.
So you get there, it's always packed. And it's like, it's just such a surreal experience, bro. It was so fun. It was very, because like you grow up watching those games, like going to those games. It's like, oh shit, like maybe one day like I could play in those games.
Dude,
Win or lose, who cares? It's fun.
Both teams have really good funding too. I want to say their weight rooms. I mean, UC Mooney's weight room is almost like
it's called the Armory. It's a separate building. It's awesome.
It's almost like you're going to Bartos. Like see it, like for example, and Ursula's weight room they upgraded. It's pretty good too.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I haven't.
There's a lot more space than what it used to be.
Yeah,
definitely. I think that's good for how many like kids are there too. I don't think there's like a lot of like different things, but like you can make different things out of it. But compared to like what you see in other schools, and I've actually talked to someone today about it. So I think besides those, the city and Cheney and East, they get a pretty good weight room. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've been there for games, like broadcast them. They have good weight rooms. But they got all those also from like the Browns helped Cheney out when they first came thing with that whole Nike
right.
thing.
Because you remember
and
that
East, and that's also from good ads like Tanisha and Casey who've done a really great job with those programs.
Odell gave them cleats. Yeah. Remember that?
And they got a lot of funding from those schools, both East and Cheney. I think got a lot of funding from the NFL schools. They have a nice weight room, nice program going on there. I feel like though the other schools struggle. If you talk to someone from Louisville like I do, boosters are trying to get like a new weight room in, new weights and everything. They have. So think about where you only have a couple squat racks, a couple benches, and only like a few of dumbbells, like not even like a whole bunch.
Damn.
So they struggle with that a lot, and I think it's like money. Like that's what happens at Louisville. And that's why the one kid who works out of the Y goes to Louisville. He says, we're trying to improve all those situations right there. And
really?
They don't even have like the new rubber dumbbells that you see. You know what they have? Old school iron dumbbells. And
I bet they're rusted too.
Yeah, probably rusted. But I'd imagine what it's like at other schools, like for example, what about schools like East Liverpool, United? I mean, Wellsville, for example.
That's out in the boonies.
But it's still part of like local technically.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Like, I don't think they get a lot of like funding too with that, like with the weight room.
No, because these are like a bunch of like I hate to say country, but like rural areas, if that makes sense.
If you're not like Ursula Mooney, Poland, Campfield, any of those Borman that get tons of money, you're pretty much left with like a
Fitch.
Fitch. Oh, Fitch definitely. Fitch gets a lot, yeah.
Harding
gets a good amount.
They got a bunch of NFL.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they got a good amount. City's got a good amount.
After that though, I don't know who else has like the funding.
I mean, Columbiana. You think Columbiana and Crestview get enough? Jackson Milton actually gets. I've seen their weight room.
There are some
Jackson Milton
girls that come from Jackson Milton.
I'm not talking about
whatever that. However,
the buzz is getting to him. Everyone.
No, it's not. No, stop. Some of the some of the baddest girls come from Jackson Milton. Some of the biggest asses come from Jackson Milton. There's this one girl that I'm not gonna single anybody out, but I'm just saying like I was at St. Patrick's Day at Frenchie's. Oh shit, we'll be right back. We're about to be cut off. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back.
We were talking about weight rooms.
And then we were talking about Jackson Milton ass.
Yeah, because I brought up the Jackson Milton weight room, which is nice, by the way. This dude got to bring some ass because he needs some ass. Someone get him some ass pronto. Come on.
You're making it sound like I'm desperate.
No, it sounds like you're desperate at the Jackson.
I'm not. No, listen. This one girl.
Okay.
Oh, should I say her name? I'm not going to say her name.
Nah, you don't got a name drop.
I was at Frenchie's.
Yeah.
For St. Patrick's Day with some friends, right? And I was a little bit saucy as well that day. And this girl, she's just wearing like regular shirt and then like gym shorts or whatever. She's blonde.
Usually you'd see like jean shorts or something like that, or jeans.
Well, it was weird. It was like regular gym shorts. Like yoga, but shorts. Yeah. Okay. So, and I'm walking, right? We're going between bars. We're going from Frenchie's to this other like bar, not bar, but like this sort of food room, interconnected. And I just see this girl, and she's standing facing that way, and I was facing this way. And I happened to turn. I was like, damn. I went up to her friend, Megan. I think her friend's name is Megan. I was like, dude, she's got a fat ass. And she's like, dude, I know. I was like, wow. That's one of those things where like I don't want to shoot, obviously there, but it's just something like, damn, like Wow.
Wow, indeed. If you're on the conversation about that, did I ever tell you the East Lansing story?
I think you may have.
Well, let me see. So we went to East Lansing, all right, and it was for the game against Michigan State past season. For
When
YSU,
YSU played, okay.
when I was on the staff of them. So Mo Capabianco sneaks me out of the hotel.
Mm.
And again, this is also, COVID was still kind of going around and stuff
Right.
like that. So you got to be in your hotel and stuff like that. So he sneaks me out. And Anthony Alberti, shout out to him. He's there too.
I don't think he likes me either.
Really? Well, he was there too. And Mike Jones and I think it was Chris Metzinger were there as well. So basically all of us were like literally in a car together, Ubering somewhere. And we went to dude, downtown was it's way better than what you'd see here in Youngstown. It's super better.
Of course.
But we go in this one place and all of a sudden I'm just walking by because I think we're about to head out. It's hours later. Some girl is on my basically lap almost. Keeps on, you know what I mean?
She was on the cactus.
She was on, yeah. So I turn around. She's like, hi, how are you? I don't know if she's hammered or what. I'm a little buzzed. I'm not there yet though, you know what I mean? But we start making out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden, no, it's not even that. All of a sudden, corner of my eye, a big fight just fucking starts out of nowhere too. A big brawl. And I mean, it was literally a big brawl. You talk about crazy stuff in school you've seen. This is crazy stuff I've seen in a bar. It's literally, think about Super Smash Brothers. That's basically what it becomes with all these people. It's literally Super Smash Brothers. They're just all fighting each other, all punching, trying to break up. And I nearly missed my Uber ride. I'm like, I'll see you later.
Yeah, that thing about bar fights.
I'm like, bye, I'll see you later.
I'm not one of those people.
I nearly missed my Uber. I had to call Alberti to see where he's at, and he had to make sure the Uber guy stopped so I didn't have to find my way back somehow.
I feel like I could never give myself up, if that makes sense, for a bar fight. I would never compromise.
Yeah, it wasn't even because I was making out with someone's chick. It's just bar fight happened because it just happens.
I'm just not a fighter. You know, I feel like even if I was to get drafted, I'd flee. I don't want to fight.
Too bad
for
they won't
country.
let you flee. Too bad they won't let you flee.
No, I'll flee. I'll take a boat to Cuba. Whatever. I will swim to Cuba. There's no way I'm fighting for this country. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
No, but have you ever seen a bar fight happen like that?
Oh, you're on Twitter?
I'm talking about in person.
Oh, no, not in person.
Really not in person? No. You've never seen downtown fight happen, bar fight?
No, I haven't, truthfully.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, truthfully. Maybe I have and I just can't remember. But not offhand. No, I can't remember.
It was so weird. I remember when we first went back downtown and it was we went to only Rise. Because OD's was always super packed. You couldn't walk in the place.
Yeah.
It felt like the Astroworld concert almost.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't at Astroworld, but I guess.
Comparing what I've heard, yeah, it felt like that. So in this way, I like how there's a little more space with everything. You know what I mean?
Ivan with Astroworld.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Hot.
Ivan, yeah. And he's trying to get on my soon-to-be podcast too.
Dude,
I know.
You let him on. Listen,
Yeah.
One thing I'll say
I know
about
you're going to be on again. I know.
One thing I'll say about Ivan, we were talking about him in the beginning. We wanted to bring him up. Listen to his music. Big Hot on literally anywhere you could get music. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. Brings a lot to the table. He's a really good artist in terms of kind of punk rock /
good voice,
pop.
Good,
yeah,
good
I agree.
Voice.
The production on his songs, I really enjoy it. Just the way he sounds. He actually talks about stuff. It's not just fluff like you hear in music right now. It's just talking about lean, talking about drugs, talking about whatever.
He makes it by the heart.
Girls, he makes it by the heart. When he makes music. Yeah, it has, like you said, intention behind it. Yeah, there's meaning. There's kind of telling a story or from a certain perspective. It's not just Playboy Cardi. It's lean.
Yeah, I don't like music like that, honestly. Now I'm more of no, I like the rap like Drake, but I'm where there's not always that echo with voice of where it's lean drugs. As you said, it's I'm not for that rap. I'm for lyrics.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so here's the thing. The question I have for people, for certain different types of people when I get on this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a decline in the quality of music, right?
I think so.
I think so too. There's like stats that prove this. I was watching some YouTube video where it was like these two YouTubers, they just discuss culture and music and stuff like that. It was like old music is, in terms of like streaming, it's like dominating new music that's released. And I feel like a good amount of that is a nostalgia for back when the world was somewhat normal.
Yeah.
By like 2016 prior. But also like the quality, I feel like it's so much better in terms of like people are actually like, telling a story with their music, or they're talking about it like experiences that, at the time they were like groundbreaking. Rappers like talking about their feelings and stuff like that. Now you hear that all the time. You hear too much like.
Oh, do you feel like Kanye tells stories about it when he's rapping? I feel like he does.
I don't. It just depends.
I feel like Kanye does.
I feel like Kanye lately is like more of a. How do I say this? It's like more of like mood, if that makes sense.
Pete Davidson's trying to get on him for no reason.
Oh, he is. He's on him.
Yeah, no one likes Pete Davidson though. So
I want to. Yeah, I'm a fan of Pete though, but I'm also a fan of Kanye.
He's a comedy guy, good comedy, but I don't think he should be going at Kanye for all the Kim Kardashian stuff. I mean,
speaking of comedy, I just want to shout out Nico Hackett real quick. Nico did stand up for the first time. I believe it was yesterday. He put on his Instagram, and it was like a 30-second snippet. I believe he only did a minute. He might have done more. I believe it was open mic. I'm not sure, though. Nico Hackett. He was a freshman when I was a junior. 2 years in between. He went to St. Christine's. I don't know if he's pursuing stand-up. I don't know if you're listening, bro, or watching, but shout out to Nico.
You got to be careful with stand-up, too, because no one can take a joke anymore.
No, people can. I did stand-up before.
Really?
I want to continue to do
stand-up. You want to continue doing it?
Yes.
Because some people just can't take a joke with, like, stand-up. You saw what I would like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Or his tackle. It's like...
Who cares? Listen, if you have fans, you're not going to get canceled, I promise you. All right, so here, this song. It's called Beano.
Beano.
And by Playboi Carti, Whole Lotta Red.
I've heard this.
What's the play? Oh, hold on. You can't. It doesn't do it. Okay, whatever. Well, I'll read the lyrics because it's like, I want to look this up real quick because this is important. You have albums like Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly. You have Take Care from Drake, 2014 Forest Hills Drive with J. Cole, right?
Music was so different back in like 2011, dude. Like the music was like early 2000s, and then like the 2010s, like early 2010s. Like now it's so different.
I agree. What's this called? So Metacritic, they rated Whole Lotta Red 8 out of 10. Best new thing. I don't think so at all. And when you listen to Whole Lotta Red, if anybody listens to Whole Lotta Red, it's basically Playboi Carti, and it's just like, it's just a bunch of like it's like lean, talking about drugs, talking about whatever. There's a song, and he literally just repeats the same phrase over and over and over. No, literally, it's the same thing. It's the same word. I'm gonna find this because it's stupid, and I hate the fact that like
it got 8 out of 10, while other songs deserve more.
Yeah, I agree because like I want to find this because this is important.
I mean, that's what they play all these songs basically in the weight room now at high schools.
But like, okay, here's an example. So this song is called "Stop Breathing" by Playboi Carti, Whole Lotta Red, which was rated 8 out of 10. Okay, in 2020. So here's the chorus. I take off my shirt and all the hoes stop breathing. I take off my shirt and all the hoes stop breathing. I take off my shirt and all the hoes stop breathing. I take off my shirt and all the hoes stop breathing. They gave this album an 8 out of 10. And then it continues on. Breathing. Bitches stop breathing. Breathing. I think that bitch not breathing. Breathing. Bitches stop breathing. Breathing. I think that bitch not breathing.
You know what's better music? You can't play that. But
anything.
Here, listen to Hunted P.
I'll listen to dogs getting shot to death.
Here's someone called Hunted P who did a soundtrack for a game called Sonic Adventure 2 back in 2001. And this is from Knuckles Wild King. So let's listen.
Ha ha. Oh, sorry.
This is Knuckles, and I'm back. I've been away for a while, but I'm back to kick some butt and shall find all the lost pieces of the master.
Oh, for its time, it's so cheesy though. From
When's it from?
Sonic Adventure 2 game.
What year?
2001.
That's what I'm representing. Never seen a mic hog spit.
All right, so is that better than Playboy?
Yes.
Better than Playboy
I'd rather
Cardi?
listen to that because that
Than
has
100, you'd rather listen to 100p than Playboy Card.
like
He's kind of a scumbag.
he goes
100p, though.
he goes ever since my brother died. What? Died. What?
What?
Ever since my brother died. What? Died. What? Died. I've been thinking about homicide. What? I've been thinking about homicide. I could write this song. I just don't understand, bro. Like this shit.
And I like it. Would you rather listen to a song like PJ Masks or Blues Clues, the little kids' songs, than
Sure, yeah.
you'd rather listen to a Coco
because
Melon song?
here's the thing: those songs, Blues Clues, and like songs that are like,
for kids.
yeah, they're trying to teach you something.
Yeah.
At least it has a meaning.
Yeah, they're trying
Like
to-
Playboy Cardi, that the whole lot of red, I don't get it because it's literally him just saying lean.
nothing about red.
No, nothing that means anything. Nothing like substance. That's why people like Kendrick Lamar, for example, are so valued in this this age of just mumble rap, is because like he actually tells a story. He's one of the few people. Like Drake is my favorite artist ever, but to Kendrick Lamar's credit, Drake doesn't like put out albums that tell a story.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll put out a song that tells a story, but like you front to back, like it's not a story. A lot of people don't do that anymore, and I feel like when they do,
yeah, a lot of them did it back then. It was
Yeah.
a key thing back then
They're
too.
like-
It was life lesson, but as you said, now like you can literally go on SoundCloud, like look at the Baby for example, or as you said, Cardi B, like Playboy Cardi. You know, what I mean, it's or even Cardi B, like it's.
Well, I feel like Cardi B
ridiculous.
gets a lot of shit, and rightfully so. I mean, she's annoying as hell, but in terms of rapping, she's a pretty good rapper. Yeah, because like
I don't listen to her much. So.
I don't either. I'm just saying, like the songs that I've heard, she's got a lot of skill. In terms of meaning, okay, probably not a lot of meaning.
it's-
Nobody stacks up to Kendrick Lamar, in my opinion, in terms of rapping. I feel like he's the best rapper on the planet. Because everything he talks about is like relevant, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's no fluff in his music.
He did that whole The Heat Part 5
The
where he had
yeah,
all
yeah.
the face changes. I think one was Kanye face change.
It was Kanye, Jussie Smollett, Will Smith,
Will Smith.
OJ, Kobe. I'm forgetting one other person.
Because what was it supposed to represent? Just everything that's happened in the past year. So,
Nipsey Hussle. No, just like
So I thought he had Kobe. It was going to be like tribute to Kobe's death. You have Will Smith. This Will Smith smacking Chris Rock.
OJ.
OJ getting out of prison. I feel like that was
Yeah, last 2 years or so. And he was rapping. The coolest thing is when the deep fake like cut to different people. He rapped from their perspective. That was the coolest thing. There's not a lot of people that are as skilled as him in rap. I feel like if Drake tries, he could be, but I feel like he's not as hungry as he used to be.
He isn't. I feel like Drake copies a lot. No, and you could
No,
disagree. You could disagree.
Listen, I agree. But I don't think he
yeah.
copies. He just like rides off other flows, and he's good at
Oh,
everything. I'll say
yeah.
that.
He samples a lot of other music, is what I feel like. He'll sample. So what I think he'll do is he'll sample like songs who are like from just SoundCloud rappers,
Yeah.
for example. But it's Drake, and he puts his little auto tune together. He has producers do it, and it sounds 10 times better.
Well,
Because
I'll say like if I had to listen to one person the rest of my life, like their catalog of music, it's Drake, because he literally has songs with everybody. So like you're not technically listening to one person the rest of your life.
yeah, because he does feature a lot of other
Literally
guys.
Everybody. Kanye, J. Cole, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Wayne, Rick Ross. I mean, it just goes
Rick
on
Ross.
and on and on and on.
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah, I mean, Playboy Cardi ruined the one song that he's on with
Oh
Drake.
yeah,
terrible.
everyone hates that song.
It's
Oh,
terrible.
Jay-Z.
Lil Yachty, Jay-Z.
Oh yeah, Jay-Z. Who else do you have? He's had so many. Of course, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj,
Nicki Minaj, yeah,
Nicki Minaj.
Rihanna,
Rihanna.
literally everybody, besides Adele.
Yeah, besides Adele. For some
The
reason.
Weeknd.
Yeah, The Weeknd. He had The Weeknd on a bunch of times. I mean, The Weeknd's good too. If you look at
Oh, The Weeknd's great.
yeah, his music.
I
is great.
love The Weeknd. In terms of like music telling a story, overall albums, he's that guy for sure too. but he's just not a rapper.
I liked his Super Bowl appearance 2 years ago.
Me too. It was
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
It was cool.
I feel like a lot of people said, "Oh, it's satanic to have the mask," but no, I liked it. I think it was just the show.
It's a lot of evangelical Christians pushing these things.
a lot of people hated last year's where it was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem.
Of course they did. It was great.
I loved it.
Majority
Because
of people loved it.
You know what it is? It's old fashioned. It's also so cheesy that you just love it. Is what it is.
I don't get why people care if people kneel. Like, people cared about Eminem kneeling, and he put a fist up and he kneeled at the end. What does it matter to you? If people, once again, it's this thing that, like, if you believe in freedom of speech and freedom of expression, then you'll see why.
He wasn't kneeling during the national anthem,
right? But he knelt, and apparently the NFL didn't want him to kneel.
But the NFL also finds Jack Del Rio and supports and wants Colin Kaepernick apparently back. So it's like, I don't.
Well, that's the thing with Kaepernick. You see, I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah, I disagree.
In my opinion,
I just think you stand for the anthem when your team tells you to. And you're standing for the country, not standing against anyone else. You're basically because you're living in the country at the time, which was okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like it was now with everything, but you had basically freedoms. And again, this happened under Obama's last year too, and all that.
Right.
I remember what Obama says. Like, if he wants to kneel, he kneel, but he'd rather have him stand for it.
Yeah.
I remember an interview with Obama said that. I'm like, I agree with Obama saying like should stand for the anthem. But also gotta get that opinion. I just think, in my opinion, if you're doing the pledge, you could lock arms if you want to. Just stand. You know what I mean? I don't care. Locking arms also made people mad. I don't care much about that. I don't like the kneeling or the sitting. That's what I mean.
Well, originally he was going to sit, and then the story behind that was
like a veteran or something.
Yeah, there was a veteran. They organized that the veteran would stand, but Kaepernick would kneel. I think, once again, freedom of expression. If we don't want the government to tell us what to do, I think we should let these people exercise their right. Because obviously it's their right. It may not be what we agree with, but if we get to a point where we're enforcing these things on other people, then we're not so far off from Nazi Germany, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, are we pretty much there with everything's been going on?
No, we're nowhere near.
I hope not. How buzzed are you right now?
I'm not buzzed at all.
Oh, really?
No.
I thought you said you were...
I thought, but it's gone.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're not going super hard anyways. I only drank a little bit of mine, honestly. It wasn't...
I will say, though, we could get to a point where that happens 20 years down the line.
I hope not.
It's looking like it could be a possibility.
I mean, what's your thoughts on, like, the Great Reset and all that stuff that people talk about?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like right-wing propaganda pushed by like people like J.D. Vance, which I don't like that guy at all. But then again, it makes sense why people would try and do that. Because people in these positions of power, they just want more power. So why not? And that's why you see more people pushing, more companies pushing for, how do I say it? They don't want people to own stuff. So like you see Bill Gates buying all this damn clock. You see Bill Gates buying all this farmland and you think, why?
Yeah.
And then you see the price of everything going up. Yeah. And so people can't afford to like own their own land and their own homes. So they go to renting. And pretty soon you have a society, which hopefully this isn't the case, but eventually you get to a society where everybody rents and nobody owns anything. Mm-hmm. And at that point, all the people all the higher ups, all the oligarchs of the country, the Bill Gates, the Musks, the Jeff Bezoses, and the United States government have all the power, and then we're really screwed because we don't have anything. And then if you take away all the guns, then you take away the means for the people to defend themselves against the government, and then you're really screwed. Then you have a country like China or Australia where they literally can't defend themselves from the government, and you have like the Chinese government, for example, they're literally putting. Yeah. I saw a video a couple months ago.
Did you see Shanghai? What's going on there?
Yeah, and they're literally putting people in concentration camps. All these people in like big hazmat suits for COVID. I don't even know what the reason was, but there's literally video of these people going into apartments and taking them out of their homes and putting them in these cages. Like, what are you doing?
Babies are being taken. Children are humiliated because they have to dress in all these large suits. It's ridiculous. And
then historically too, in terms of like, what they do, the rule that they don't want. What is it? One child per household or two children per household, and then if it's a girl, they're more likely to abort the girl. Historically,
what?
Let me look.
I never heard that before in my life. What is? I wouldn't say it would be anything like that. I mean, especially in this day and age. That's like
you'd be surprised, bro. China's messed
really?
up.
Oh, China is messed up a lot.
Okay, this is Wikipedia. I don't want to try it. I don't want to do that.
I mean, Wikipedia does have references, so you can look at the references that they got and see how it is.
Okay, yeah, forced abortions in China. That's a real thing, especially if they're females, and that's been something historically. This is from Fox News, but we're gonna take it with a grain of salt. This says here the title says women tied like pigs, forced abortions part of China's one-child policy. Okay, so yeah, they do have a one-child policy historically, and this is something that I remember hearing about for a minute. Yeah. Even in kindergarten.
Yeah, that'd probably be the only way where you could get on Fox News. I don't think any. Why you think MSNBC?
You'd be able to find it too, I believe.
You think so?
I'm trying to find it.
You'd probably have to go you'd probably have to search it up or something like that.
Well, this is
really search it up.
This is Bloomberg right here. Bloomberg, like Mike Bloomberg, who ran for Democratic president 2020. China says it will reduce abortions as part of a new guideline for women. Okay, but still, they're forcing people to. They were forcing people to have abortions. It's all for population control because there's so many people that are in China.
This is not right.
This is from 2021, September 27, 2021. China will reduce the number of abortions for non-medical purposes, while at the same time provide more support to women to raise children, signaling mounting concerns among policymakers.
And then you're going to take them for COVID is what you're going to do and lock them up.
Well, hold on. I don't know if that's the same thing. I'm trying to find. I want to find. Okay. New guidelines come months after the census data show China's birth rate reached its lowest point since the 1950s, and that its population could peak at 1.45 billion by 2030. Since then, the government has introduced a suite of policies to encourage women to have children. Okay, I want to find when it was talking about that. It's not telling me anything. Abortion in China. Let's check out that one. I don't want to get anything like a biased perspective. That's why it's hard when you see MSNBC or Fox News. It's like
Fox or CNN,
I want to actually hear about what it actually is.
They're all on news stations is the problem. You don't got the actual. And there's stuff like, I don't know, do you follow on Twitter, disclose.tv or Breaking 911? Any of those?
Breaking Points on YouTube. Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar.
Do you know those Twitter accounts are like disclose.tv, Breaking 911?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I do. Breaking 911.
Do you follow any of those? Because those kind of like put a different narrative where you won't see it on like any other news station.
And it's non-biased too.
Yeah. Oh. Because they'll put everything on. People think that they're only like Republican, on that right side party.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of maybe a little more right, but they're also down the middle. You know what I mean? Like they'll post stuff where you won't see it anywhere else.
Okay, so from Bloomberg, it says right here, for several years, I've expected, and this is somebody I assume has lived in China, I've expected that the Chinese government would be moving in this direction and would begin to restrict abortions so that they're kind of getting away from abortions, forced abortions, which would be a huge change of policy in China. For well over 30 years, they have actually used abortion as an integral part of population planning or population control. And in many cases, especially in the years following the one-child policy, particularly in the 1980s, they forced a lot of women to have abortions. Even today, we see some reports of forced abortions among Uyghur women in Xinjiang. Uyghurs are Muslims.
Yeah.
They're
If it's pronounced wrong, then we apologize.
I apologize if I'm butchering anything. I'm really trying to. But yeah, they had a one-child policy for over 3 decades, and at the end of 2015, it was announced that it was adopting a so-called two-child policy. And along with that change, the propaganda was aggressively focusing on especially educated women, trying to get them to have 2 children instead of 1. So basically, the forced abortion thing is nothing new, and they're kind of getting away with that now, or getting away from it now. But still, it's terrible. And the idea that China makes all of our stuff, we're basically dependent on China, is a very scary thing.
Because you see people trying to support all these shootings and all that from the NBA, but they're not saying anything about the Muslim slaves in China or anything.
No,
like that, because that's where Nike is, and who makes all the gear for the NBA?
Right,
Nike.
Right.
Yeah.
And
who makes all the gear for most half of the D1 footballs?
Right.
Nike.
And you know what? I'll buy it because I don't see it. But the fact of the matter is, it's happening.
Yeah.
Another thing, okay? People want to lecture Americans about racism, okay? I get it. Racism is a bad thing. Sure. And it's also it exists in this country, and not only is police brutality real, but I would also argue that it's not just police brutality.
Racism's been going on since Christopher Columbus, since it was first founded.
Right.
For being honest,
right? And the thing is, there's a lot of cops that aren't just racist, but they're just dicks. Yeah. I've encountered a couple myself.
Yeah, same here.
I was literally arrested, and then I'm in cuffs, and the guy's telling me where to get alcohol. But I was arrested for possession of alcohol under 21. Open container. Point is, I get it. Not to that extent, but I get it to an extent of cops being dicks to you. Okay. But here's the thing. If you're going to talk about injustice in America, which is valid, it's real, but then you're not going to talk about injustice from China, where you're literally earning the majority of your salary, I can't trust you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For example, okay, let's just look at this real quick, because this kind of bothers me. Let me see how much we have left. Okay, this just bothers me. So, Star Wars, in 2016, okay, they had The Force Awakens.
That was 2016.
It might have been 2015. Okay, look at this.
15.
There's two pictures over here, if you can see. And everybody watching this, I want you to look at this at home, because this is important. So, okay, Finn, one of the leading roles in the Star Wars movie was a black character played by a black actor.
To me, Finn was just a clone, though. Like, it wasn't even because of his race. He just felt like a clone.
Yeah, well, his name is, in reality, the actor's name is John Boyega, and he is an actor who happens to be black, okay? Mm-hmm. And in America, on the left, you can see right here, and I'm trying to blow this up. I don't know, view image.
That's as close as it's going to get.
Yeah, okay. Well, hold on. Shit.
I think that won't do much right there.
Okay. So anyway, so right here, this is the American one on the left, you probably can't see. But he is the actor who is black, John Boyega, prominently pictured in the American poster on the left. But in the right, you can't even see him. Why? Because he's shrunken down to the point where you can't see him, because it's meant to, for whatever the reason, China doesn't want to put a black actor in a big role on a movie. Okay, so there's one example, right? And then let's go to Black Panther. Okay, so Black Panther. Come on.
Just China poster.
Let's see where we are right now. Okay, so real quick. Now look at this. Okay, so for China on the left, it's loading here. But for China on the left, Black Panther, you don't see his face. Why? Because the mask is covering it for the Chinese poster. Because for whatever reason, they didn't want Chadwick Boseman. They don't want you to see his skin color. But on the right, the American poster, his mask, as you can see right here, you can't see his mask because his mask's off. But on the left, the Chinese poster right here, you see the Chinese lettering.
Look at the graphic. The mask is on.
Horrible. The mask is on. Too, by the way. But then NBA players who receive majority of their profits from China will lecture us about how racism is bad, and I get it.
Yeah,
the racism is real.
They're not looking at what's going on in China.
Right. But you take money from the majority of China, and all your money, most of your money is coming from them, and you're not saying anything about that because you're getting your money. That's all. We'll be right back. We're back. Steve, we're almost done. We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up. Like contraceptives. We're wrapping it up.
Yeah, hurry up, dude.
Anyway, anything else that you wanted to talk about real quick?
Well, so Deshaun Watson, the Browns are still all in on him, and it's $230 million.
Talk about slanging it.
That it's gutsy. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah,
you don't know what's gonna happen.
I think he's guilty.
You know,
with 24 accusations, you gotta be guilty.
When everything's coming up now, but he's not going to prison or anything. It's like
no.
I don't know how. Again, I don't know how he's not going to like prison. It's wild.
Okay, can I say something though? Can I say something a little bit controversial?
It's your podcast.
Okay. Now, if he paid somebody for sexual favors, well, what's so wrong about that? If it was all consensual, what's wrong with that?
If it's all consensual, then nothing.
Why does the government have to say that prostitution should be illegal? Now, hear me out. I'm not going to, be one to pay for prostitution because I would feel so dirty.
Not my style.
My soul would feel black. Yeah. But who is the government to say that this should be illegal? When the government literally supplies I don't know if it's the government, but they literally allow prescription drugs to be abused daily.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the opioid crisis,
Yeah.
and they don't want to do anything about it because they're in bed with big pharma and they just profit off of it.
Big tech agencies and all that.
That too. But like
Steroids going around.
when you have things like OnlyFans, it's not far off from prostitution.
Definitely.
I just don't get it. So when we go back to here, Deshaun Watson, if he paid for it and if it was consensual, then I don't know what to say.
Did you hear he got into that baby pose? You didn't hear about it?
I did not.
He got so the New York Times article says all that with all like the text and all that. It's crazy.
How can you not contain yourself? It's literally
why
a
are you-
massage.
Why are you that horny?
Exactly. I don't get it.
And did you ever see the video of him having Mia Khalifa over his house with a maid outfit?
No.
There's a video of it.
No.
There's a video of it, dude. Look it
What
up.
a menace.
Look it up. He's looking it up right now. He had Mia Khalifa over.
No, he didn't.
Look it up on YouTube.
I don't want to see adult content. I'm not doing it.
But it's not bad. He's literally stuck in a basketball in a maid outfit. But she's
yeah, I remember.
But she's in a maid outfit.
No, she was shooting hoops and
Yeah, she's in a maid outfit shooting hoops.
Yeah, she tried to dunk on.
That was, I think, his rookie season at Houston too.
Boy, come on, Deshaun.
That was his rookie year at Houston, by the way. But I want to know because this stuff's going back to 2020, right? I think.
Yeah, as soon as he said that he wasn't going to play for the Texans,
but even some are coming back from 2020. So how didn't Bill O'Brien know about any of this?
The head coach of the Texans at the time. He definitely did. He had to have.
Because no one's asking him about this. No one's going to him about this at all. He's literally silent.
You saw the New York Times post.
Yeah.
Crazy. Apparently the owners of the Texans were in on it too. Crazy.
But why aren't they getting the same trouble?
I don't know.
It's almost like when John Gruden was caught for those emails, but the Dan Snyder was, they just wiped it away with Dan Snyder.
I think it's because the Dan Snyder thing is an ongoing investigation, and they were investigating Dan Snyder, and then the John Gruden emails just happened to come up. I think that's how it was
from years ago. That was
but still, I don't know. I was a fan of John Gruden. I'm still a fan of John Gruden. Who am I kidding?
Yeah,
I would love him to, announce a game.
But they won't let him though because of all the emails.
Give it 10 years.
10 years.
He'll be back. In some way, shape, or form. He'll be back.
I mean, they can allow him maybe to try and get on the USFL game for Fox. Who knows? But
he'll be back. Don't worry.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
He'll be back. He better be, because he's talented. I'll say that.
He's a good broadcaster.
I'd listen to him talk about paint drying on the wall. I don't care.
He's good at his job broadcasting. Coach, broadcasting.
Coach, he won a Super Bowl
with Tony Dungy's team
back in the day.
And then when he got his own team, and it was just either you make the playoffs in your first on exit or you miss it, is what it was. So
they gave him a 10-year contract. That never happens, especially for a coach who's not really at the forefront.
Oh, we're talking about contracts. You see Tom Brady's whole Fox Sports contract,
because he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great,
but he's not even retired yet. He came out of retirement. He's gonna be playing for another probably 4 years before he goes on Fox.
I think he's got one more year and then he's done.
It's Brady.
I say give him one more year.
It's Brady.
I don't think any other. I think one more year. He's 45 years old.
Favre was, God, how old was Favre? He was wasn't Favre 40? What was his, God, was Favre was younger though, was he? When he retired, 42 maybe?
I'm not too sure. Let's see.
Because Favre retired twice and then came back.
Mm-hmm.
He retired after the Packers.
Packers and then Vikings.
No, not Vikings. Packers, then he retired, then the Jets. He was released by Packers, went to the Jets. Played for Mancini the 1 year in 08. They won 9-7. They started off the season super well, then fell off a cliff at the later half in 08. Then he retired again, and then they got him to Minnesota for those 2 seasons. And the one season, Minnesota was great. The next year, it was just terrible.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know he played for the Jets? He did.
No.
Yeah, he did.
All right, let's look at this. Favre. Let's just go Wikipedia.
Because Favre right now, he's
Well, he is currently
how old is he?
52.
52. Okay, so let's see. So 52. So 10 years ago. So okay, he would
Minnesota
have been
Vikings.
42, 43 when he retired.
Still though, and they were in the playoffs too.
Yeah. Well, they also had Adrian Peterson in his good
Yeah.
days too, before he became kind of old and
I didn't know he was on the Falcons.
Who?
He probably was drafted by the Falcons.
Yeah, no, he was.
And then traded to the
Yeah,
Packers.
he was. He was so what happened with Falcons is that he was there and it just didn't work out. Like he never really got much playing time through 2 picks and they traded him after. So
But he actually
in
played
92.
like games for them?
Yeah.
Wow. I had no clue.
Well, because it was so short. That's why.
Huh.
People forget about that too. That he was
I
with
had
the
no
Falcons.
clue.
People forget he was still with the Falcons because you see him at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Most people know him for Green Bay. It's like with the Jets, as you say, you had no clue because it was like a 1-year thing. Like no one really knows about his time with New York either, except for he was.
Oh, that's like
You want to know a funny thing?
that's like Karl Malone on the Lakers.
You want to know a funny thing though with Brett Favre? So, I remember I was going to a Browns preseason game with my dad. This was like 2008, the year when he came back. So, what happened is that same day, I think he came out of retirement and
Really?
signed with the Jets.
Huh.
Right when we were going to preseason game, but he couldn't play because this was like that same day or maybe a day before where he signed, and like he couldn't play, couldn't practice or anything. So I think he was on the sidelines maybe for that game. I remember though, like for that preseason game, and like you just watching it. But I remember that he was there.
Wow.
I also saw Mike Vick play before preseason wise too.
Really?
Wait, yeah, 2012 when the Browns played the Eagles.
Wow.
This was Mike Vick, I think, past his prime.
Yeah, obviously.
It was still pretty cool.
He was still pretty good though. In the Eagles. With the
He
Eagles.
was injury prone after that 2010 season. He was never the same afterwards.
We gotta wrap this thing up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this thing up.
It's been more than 2 hours. Any other things that you want to get off your chest before we
my chest before. Well, thoughts about Blue Mountain State?
watch a couple episodes?
You gotta watch the whole season.
The thing I remember most.
Thad Castle's awesome. There you go.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from there is
Dude.
the concept of like what a pocket pussy is.
Oh,
It's
because
fine.
he got his dad's pocket pussy. That's why.
Uh-huh.
Because his dad died in like a war or something, and he left the pocket pussy back.
Something like that.
It's the weirdest show, dude, and it's basically like that's why I said Ursula back then was like Blue Mountain State, because literally there'd be all drugs, girls, and all that. Like literally, that's what it was. Like that's pretty much what it is. Like it's like that in college too, you know.
Any experience? No, not like that. I mean,
No experience.
not
for
the
me.
college parties I've been to. There's not like that.
But dude, that show's funny as all hell. I just finished the episode. So it was coach's ex-wife that's marrying with the dean
Yeah.
has sex with Alex Moran,
Oh boy.
and the coach tells Moran to keep pumping her so to like piss her off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that show's wild.
Wow.
Imagine a college football team like that.
Florida Gators, whenever they won the national championship,
You think Urban Meyer let all players?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Who knows? Honestly, I mean, you see what Urban's doing now.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe high school teams are like that too when it comes to.
No, when I was
can't.
there.
Definitely not when I was there too, but you don't know what happened back in the day. But I think it's time, right?
Yeah. All right. Brian, where can everybody find you?
So I'm going to be again the new podcast, the OB Talk Wire. You can find me on my Twitter, Ian OB O'Brien, Instagram OB O'Brien 41. And I'm going to have the podcast. I'm going to have you on, but I'm going to also try and have as many guests on as possible and make it, not make it as long or I want to say raunchy, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be more kind of like almost, it's going to be like kind of what you see like with a Barstool one where there's like, I want to get like a lot of equipment for it first. But I want to at least have a bunch of guests on every week. I know I want you to be one of them. You accepted. I've been accepted. I want to try. We might get Cole Peterson on next week, Monday, I'm thinking. So
Okay.
that'll be pretty hype if we do that. My brother's going to be on an episode. He might be one of the first guys appearing on my show. But that's what I want to mostly make it about. Now, I don't want to make it 2 hours long first thing, but it's going to be probably 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I
That's
think
good.
that'd be the best part of it.
I
But,
gotcha.
yeah. And of course, you're on anytime you want. you know?
Awesome.
Of
I
course.
appreciate you, man.
Oh, anytime.
And I'm
dude.
so glad I could finally have you back on so everybody could see what you look
And
like.
it's not as awkward as that whole girl conversation.
Look
from
at the
last
young
time.
bachelor. Look at the beard. The beard isn't something you had last time, I don't think. Or it wasn't grown out as
It wasn't
much.
grown out, no.
It looks good.
Thank you.
He's a backwards hat type of guy. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. But hey, thank you for having me on again.
No problem. Anytime, like I said before, anytime.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. I'm non-binary.
Hey.